The following is a Molstar Communications production in association with CKND, Winnipeg TV. Is there a doctor in the house? Because the Jets have the hope that the Chicago Blackhawks can be the cure to ending a 4-game losing streak. Coach Terry Simpson has the remedy. Now it's up to the players to heed the advice of their physician and take their medicine. The prescription for winning means administering body contact to your opponent. You must work out for a full 60 minutes, as intensity and aggression must be liberally applied. And now is not the time to diet. No, the Jets must feast themselves by bulking up on their goal scoring. While the franchise outlook is terminal, a transplant will be performed at the end of the season. It is heart and inspired emotional play from their two top guns that will restore to health the Jets' hopes of making the playoffs. Tonight, the Jets hope to take their medicine and administer a beating to the Blackhawks. Live on CKND, Winnipeg TV. Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you by Molson Canadian. Well, there is nothing like a team from the original six to bring out the fans here in Winnipeg, and for the Jets, the Blackhawks always seem to inspire their best efforts. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Molson Jets Hockey on CKND. I'm Joe Pascucci. The third and possibly last meeting of the season between the Jets and the Blackhawks here at the arena. The first two games went to overtime, a tie and a win for the Jets. Speaking of overtime, the Blackhawks were 4-3 losers to St. Louis last night at home. Didn't get into Winnipeg until 3 a.m. Didn't practice this morning, but if there's one team that knows how to win on the road, it's Chicago. 16 wins, 7 ties, and only 8 losses. They have the third best road record in the NHL. The Jets, on this 4-game losing streak, they're still tied for 8th place in points with the Los Angeles Kings. They have a lot of games in hand on the teams ahead of them, but those teams are getting further and further ahead. And right behind the Jets and the Kings are the Edmonton Oilers, 2 points back, and Anaheim is only 3 points back. All the teams in action tonight, so there'll be a lot of standing juggling going on later this evening. Tonight's game marks the 1,000th of his NHL career for the Chicago Blackhawks. Brent Sutter, number 12, the one of the only 6 Sutter brothers who have played in the NHL to have reached this plateau. And there he is. Game number 1,000 will be against the Winnipeg Jets here at the arena. I'm sure the family is watching at home in Alberta. Carmen's Eddie Belfour, well, he was in goal last night for the Blackhawks against St. Louis. He'll be watching this game from the bench. Jeff Hackett gets the call in goal. And with more on tonight's game between the Jets and the Blackhawks, here's Kurt Kuhlback and Ted Irvin.
Hello again, everybody, and Ted, I'm looking forward to this one. Every time Chicago comes, there's some great action in this building, and this year's been no exception.
Exactly right, Kurt. Winnipeg Jets have always played well against Chicago in the Winnipeg Arena. In November, Jets won 6-5. They were down 4-2. They were down 5-3. They kept on fighting back, and in that game, Shane Doan got 2 goals, his first 2 goals as a rookie. Then they come back in December, and they tie the game 2-2, and Roenick tied the game in the third period, the 1924 mark, and Chicago had 1 shot in the third period in that game.
A guy who's got to love playing against a team like the Chicago Blackhawks is Jet Captain Chris King.
Ideal game for Chris King. We're going to see a lot of bumping and grinding. Chris King, the captain of the hockey club, 9 goals this year, 100 penalty minutes, comes to play every night. As John Paddock says, he's one of the few Winnipeg Jets that has earned his pay this year.
And the consensus best defenseman in the National Hockey League is here tonight in Chris Chelios.
Chris Chelios had some good games in Winnipeg also. He's a 2-time Norris Trophy winner, 6-time All-Star. He has 45 assists with the Chicago Blackhawks this year, and I look for Keith Kachuk and Shane Doan to play the body on Chelios quite a bit, because you can throw him off his game a little bit if you hit him a lot.
Lots of pressure by the Hawks, and should be lots of physical play, too.
Lots of physical play. The last 2 games here, Probert went with Chris King in the first game, and then Probert went with McKenzie. Always a physical game. If the Winnipeg Jets can play physical for the whole game, they can be competitive.
So we should have some great entertainment tonight. Stand by for the opening face-off as the Chicago Blackhawks lead the Winnipeg Jets here on CKND, Winnipeg TV. Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by the home of the Big Buy, Jim Coche Chevol's Geo Cadillac.
What are you doing there?
In today's world of beers, Molson Special Dries in a world of its own.
Play Safeway's Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win an IBM Aptiva multimedia computer, a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven, Dirt Devil's MVP and Dust Devil from Royal Appliance, or $300 in MasterCard Travelers checks from the Bank of Montreal. You can also win a trip for two to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway's participating products, Mott's Clamato, and Safeway Select Indulgence Cookies. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
There are hundreds of ways to get in shape and hundreds more to stay in shape. You'll find them all at Athletes Wear. Step up to the quality of the York Bigfoot Step Exerciser and save $30. Heavy-duty shocks, deluxe computer console, tubular bottom frame. This York Stepper is a giant value. Athletes Wear, still the right choice.
The choice is there. Athletes Wear.
Son, you know why McDonald's calls this the Hockey Hero Burger?
No, Dad, why?
3 all-beef patties, 3 periods of hockey.
Yeah.
Monterey Jack and cheddar processed cheeses, home team visitors. Tomato, face-off circle, home-style bun, arena where it all takes place.
And the sauce, that's the ice surface, right, Dad?
No. The sauce adds flavor, son. Works nicely with the lettuce.
The Hockey Hero Burger for a limited time.
Have you had your break today?
We see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
So the season to remember resumes in Winnipeg with a final scheduled visit by the Chicago Blackhawks, a team laden up front with good forwards, probably the best defense in the league, and an outstanding goaltending tandem. Jeff Hackett goes tonight. He's got the best goals against average in the National Hockey League. And a man standing opposite, Nikolai Habibulin, the unquestioned MVP of this year's edition of the Winnipeg Jets. The referee tonight is Richard Trottier, and the Jets may have mixed, no they won't, there'll be no question about their emotions about that tonight. They are 1-6 when Trottier has been in charge this year, and the linesmen Ron Finn and Andy McKelman. Alexei Zhamnov and Brent Sutter in his 1,000th game prepare for the opening faceoff. Zhamnov gets it over to Tverdovsky. He dumps it down into the Chicago zone. Chelios goes after it. Chelios puts it around to the other side. Carney trying to push it ahead. Tverdovsky pinched in. It's in behind. They send it around for Murphy, bodied by Zhamnov. Manson's long shot, handled by Jeff Hackett.
Well, we see a little bit of change in the Jet lineup tonight, Kurt. Young Chassé not playing after throwing that wicked body check. In the last game, Turcotte's out with a hand injury. Randy Gillen's still out. and Ian Fraser not playing tonight. And the Hawks, Russell's back to play, but he's not going to play. Davinsky and Kriever-Kassoff aren't playing for the Hawks tonight. Terry Simpson hoping for a 60-minute solid effort tonight. He liked the first period against Vancouver, and he wants 3 more of the same tonight.
Puck goes into the corner. Carney wrapped it around. Big Probert is there, pushes Tverdovsky away. Now trying to work out with it. Probert retreats behind his goal. Doan goes in after him. Now Chelios has it. Gets it back to his defense mate Carney. Watched by Korolev. And Carney will give it a try. Looks ahead to center ice. Murphy had it knocked away by Tverdovsky. Manson goes after it now. Takes it behind his goal. Manson watched by Murphy. Ahead to Korolev. Pulled toward the blue line. Center. Can't hold it in. Zhemnov knocked it by him. Carney taken in against the boards by Doan. Now Zhemnov trying to work it in front. Zhemnov twists. Can't get a shot away. And Murphy dumps it away. Back to get it for Winnipeg is Teppo Numminen. Numminen works in. Gives to Tkachuk a shot. Hackett to save. The message from the Jets. They wanted to shoot Hoffman. And, well, they have had a couple of shots in the first minute, 20 seconds.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets will want to get some pressure on the Hawks. Hawks flew in late last night, had an emotional game, so they're going to try to pressure the Hawks. Tkachuk gets a good shot away. As you said, Kurt, Terry Simpson wants more shooting from all over the ice, especially Tverdovsky. Craig Hartsburg, the rookie coach out there, doing a fine job. He's learned to play the veterans and not go with so many young guys this season, and he's had good success by doing that.
Suter puts it around for Amade. Amade punches it out to Nichols with Roenick at center ice. Gives it to Roenick against Numminen. Back to Nichols. Puts it out front. Amade in behind now for Roenick. Sends it back to the corner. Numminen gets by Nichols. Looks across. Leads Tkachuk. Tkachuk with Drake. Drop pass. There to pick it up is Eddie Olczyk. And he dumps it in. Hackett leaves it there for Suter. Suter puts it off the glass all the way down. Going back to get it is Numminen. And that's icing against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Well, Chicago's got some excellent forwards up front, Kurt. One of the guys they rely on quite a bit. You know, they have Jeremy Roenick. Amonte's playing well for him, but also right now, Bernie Nichols. He's played well in Winnipeg here. He's kind of a disturber out there. He yaps quite a bit. He sticks you quite a bit. And so far this season, you know, he's picked himself up. Was it 14 goals, 32 assists? He's the kind of guy, though, that can get you a goal in a hurry, and he's very skilled offensively. But I like the way he plays because he can upset the other team and take some bad penalties by drawing some bad penalties.
Well, the Hawks have to be feeling it after last night. You know, with 1 second to go, they were leading 3-2. They wound up losing the game 4-3 because with 0.6 of a second, the score was tied by Rob Pearson in Chicago. Rob Pearson of the Blues, and then it was won on a goal by former Hawk Brian Noonan in overtime. Puck goes back in the corner in the Chicago zone. Ulanov puts it rink wide. Kilger with it there. In behind now to Stapleton. Puts it out in front. And the rookie, Daze, at center ice. Moves in on the right side against McIver. Trying to work it in front. It goes back. Here's Smith. Steve Smith dumps it into the corner. Behind the net, Denny Savard. Savard can't put it out in front, but Ulanov is there. The former Jet dumps it in. Here's Daze at the side of the goal. Now Savard in behind. Savard looks at Daze. Trying to feed it in front. Can't the first time, can't the second time. It goes to center. Steve Smith tried it ahead, knocked away from Craven. It goes back to Ulanov, to Smith, to Ulanov. Nearing the 3-minute mark of a scoreless opening period. McIver gets a piece of chance. Now King tried it into the middle. Tverdovsky for Eastwood. Eastwood stops. Cummins gets a piece of him, dumps it in. Chance gives chase, so does Tverdovsky. They arrive at the same time. Eastwood takes it away for Winnipeg. Now flips it back to Manson. Manson ridden into the boards by Chance. Tverdovsky. McKenzie for Eastwood. Eastwood moves up the left side. Here's Eastwood. Gets a weak shot away that was partially blocked by Carney. 3.5 minutes in the opening period.
What are you doing there?
In today's world of beers, Molson Special Dries in a world all its own.
Back again on the used car floor at Jim Gauthier with in excess of 50 vehicles indoors 12 months a year, and each of them has been Manitoba Safety Certified for your peace of mind. As well, we have a huge selection of GM program cars, which are cars that are, well, are basically next to new and still carry the balance of the factory warranty. Jim Gauthier on McPhillips, north of Inkster.
It's always in big time GM Gauthier.
On McPhillips, north of Inkster.
Well, right at the end of that shift there, Kurt, Jim Cummings got a hooking penalty down deep down in his in the Chicago corner. The Winnipeg Jets power play slipped recently, but they're 6th in the AHL right now. Chicago very good at killing penalties. They're ranked 3rd, but this could give the Jets some spark if they can get their power play going early in the game.
Here's McIver with it. Lets it go. Deflected by Kachuk. Polchuk in behind. It goes to Shamnov. Newman back down for Shamnov. Shamnov works, trying to work it to Kachuk. Chelios knocked it away. The Hawks' penalty killing against the Jets has been outstanding this year. 19 for 21. Jets have scored only twice. Here's Shamnov. Takes it to center. 3-on-2 and across the line. Looks out. In front. Oh, Chad couldn't get his stick on it. And now Jets clears it all the way down the ice. McIver back to pick it up. A minute 20 left in that penalty. No score. 4:11 gone in the opening period. Newman gets it out to center ice to Kachuk. Here's Roenick trying to break away. McIver goes after it. Roenick with one hand on the stick. Can't get a good shot away. And Newman has it. Newman moves out to give to Kachuk. Kachuk gets over the line. Knocked away from him. And now Chelios trying to clear. It goes to Newman at center. Knocked back, swatted by Steve Smith all the way down the ice. Manson. 45 seconds left in the man advantage for Winnipeg. They had the one good chance on the deflection by Kachuk, and that's been it. Here's Manson trying it for Stapleton. Off him. Weinrich dumps it back out to center. Manson for Drake. Drake collided with teammate Tevardovsky. Now Korolev gives to Tevardovsky. In turn to Stapleton. Dumped into the corner. Drake after it there. For Korolev. Drake. Checked by Weinrich. Poked ahead, Stapleton. It goes back to Manson. Manson's pass anticipated by Nichols. Now Manson. Back for Stapleton. Dumped in. Smith goes back with some blocking from Weinrich. Picks up the puck and dumps it the distance. And runs out the penalty to Cummins. Here's Tevardovsky. Off the stick of Drake. Igor Ulanov back in his own zone to Suter. Suter to center, dumps it all the way down. McIver after it. It will not be icing. McIver puts it in the corner. Murphy flips it high, and it disappeared over the glass.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
Well, as we mentioned, Kurt, Chicago flew in last night, got in about 3:30 in the morning, had a real emotional game against their rival St. Louis. They lost late in the game, lost in overtime. They'll be a little bit physically drained, but the difference is Chicago Blackhawk Club, they're a veteran team. They got 9 guys over 30, and they'll know how to rebound from an emotional loss like last night. There's Brent Sutter, one of the class hockey players in the National Hockey League.
Sutter's out between Murphy and Probert. Puck is dumped in. Here's Doan with it. Doan lost it, pumped in. Dave Probert goes after it. McIver after him. Now Muni for Winnipeg sends it to the corner. Sutter is there. Kilger leans into him. Muni joins in. Muni manages to get it back to McIver. McIver's pass for Doan. Can't quite reach it. Suter drives it back in. Ababulin leads it there for McIver. McIver to King. King's pass. Kilger pokes it in. Doan gives chase. Kilger got a good piece of Ulanov right after dumping that puck in. And now the puck at center ice. Flipped back into the Chicago zone. Ulanov watched by King. Ulanov's pass off Probert goes to center ice. Finley. Newman into the middle. Drake. Over. Kachuk trying to work in. Backhand. Hackett's a rebound. And Hackett covers up.
Off to a good start, just the way you expected, Kurt. Watch Winnipeg Jets here, moving the puck around very easy, and that's what they have to do. Let the puck do the work for a while. Newman gets it up over to Drake. Drake's going to make the pass right away. Kachuk makes a cute little move, makes a good shot. The rebound comes back, but Hackett stays with it. And the Jets are making the puck do the work. Is trying to do it themselves. Kachuk could have a good game tonight. I'd like to see him play that body against Chelios. That seems to get him going when he has a good game against his old friend Chelios.
He's had the flu for the last several days, hasn't practiced, did play, of course, on Wednesday night, was not really very effective, and they're expecting a little better effort from him tonight. Puck is out to center ice. Here's Newman. Dumps it into the Chicago zone. Hackett to center ice to Nichols. Nichols moves in over the jet line, goes to the outside, dumps it in. It's picked up by Finley. Finley's pass goes off Olczyk, another former Hawk. Now sent back out by Hackett, and the puck in the center ice area. With it there is Chelios, who dumps it in. Kachuk gives him a rub. Now to Tverodovsky behind his goal. Gives it away. Roenick flips it out, and there was nobody there to help him. Here's Carney. Tverodovsky made it apparent where he was going with that puck, and Roenick pounced on it. Had an opportunity. Now Newman tried it for Shevnov. Shevnov trying to beat Chelios. He can't. And the captain of the Hawks sends it ahead to Roenick. Roenick at center. Pass for Savard. Knocked away by Korolev. Korolev gives to Shevnov. Had it knocked away from him. And the Hawks dump it out. Manson goes back. Gives to Tverodovsky. To Korolev. By Weinrich out to center. And with it there, Suter. Suter hit the linesman with it, and that hurt. Here's Manson. To Tverodovsky. Now with it, Korolev, center ice. Had to wait because Shevnov had gone in advance. Korolev does the job, gets it over to Manson. Manson flips it in. Korolev can't reach it, but Doan was offside.
Score! Chris King rips one past Bridger. Second shot, big score. Trevor Linden. Back, boom shot. Yep, here's a chance for
that. Maestro Bramwell Tovey presents the riches of British musical tradition. The WSO offers 2 more British imports of sterling quality in the Jaguar Symphony Sweepstakes. Choose from 3 fabulous grand prizes. Music in Motion, the new Jaguar XJS convertible, the new Jaguar XJ6 sedan, or $60,000 cash. 325 prizes with a total value at over $124,000. The first early bird draw is February 24th. Enter the Jaguar Symphony Sweepstakes.
Kurt, we talked about why Chris Chelios, 2-time Norris Trophy winner. Watch this play. Look at the body position against Zamnock, and he comes around one hand. That's strength in his part, but also stopping and turning on the dime. Most guys go for a big skate, not Chelios.
Here's McIver. Gets it to Muni. Back to McIver. No score. 8:40 gone in the opening period. Kilger was checked. Puck goes all the way down the ice. McIver has Craven bearing in on him. It's not icing. They battle for it now in the corner. Craven, McIver. In the first intermission, Chad Kilger will be with Joe Pascucci.
Youngster just came over the trade for Timo Solani. As I said, had the flu the last game there. You know, he's a big, powerful center. They're hoping he'll come along like Keith Promo. He's only a 9-year-old, and Terry Simpson had mentioned about the youngsters on his hockey club there. Big, strong boy. He just needs a little more confidence, and a couple of points would be a great thing for his confidence. Physical player. He's fitting in pretty nicely right now. Played a good game in Vancouver the last time they played out there.
Face off to the right of Hababul, and the shots on goal 6-1 in favor of the Jets, but no score. Chance against Eastwood. You know, you talk about the Hawks playing last night. It's interesting that on the second night of back-to-back games, they're not bothered by it in the least. In fact, they love it. 6 wins, 1 loss. Puck goes to the corner. Poulin works with it. Knocks it behind. Here's Chance. Check by Manson. Following up is Poulin. Stapleton takes it to Shannon. Centering wide. Back with it is Smith. Smith's pass. Across to Carney. Ahead for Cummins. Gives to Shans. Working there against Manson. Manson stopped it. Now it goes dead. There's Cummins looking across. Couldn't get it to Smith. Now it does. And Smith poked it wide. Smith back. It goes. Ulanog shot. Bullen got a piece of that. It went over top. Here's Tvernovsky. He can wheel. Moves it to center ice. Dumps it in. Back to get it is Smith. Chased. Hit by Eastwood. Now with it, McKenzie. Behind for Eastwood. Eastwood battles along the boards. Taken out down by Smith. McKenzie fighting off Shans. Back for Eastwood. Eastwood looks in front. Gets it back to McKenzie. Eastwood, McKenzie, Shannon cycling down in the corner. And Smith is exhausted covering up on it. That won't work. It goes to Shannon. Shannon. Smith trying to hold on to him. Puck goes. McKenzie shot. Rebound. Eastwood backs at it. They're celebrating with the lights not on. Fans at that end of the arena thought the puck was in the goal.
That's an excellent shift by McKenzie and Eastwood and Shannon. Winnipeg Jets need some extra work from their third and fourth liners. That's what happened the other night in Vancouver when Hunter and Dowd and Walker played so well. Just a great shift. And they played the body. They stayed on top of Chicago. Here you see McKenzie get a good shot away, and Eastwood goes to the net, gets two shots that the fans cheer. They're not going for a replay at all, but that's just by playing the body. We'll see another angle here. Oh, right from the goal line. Hits the post, bounces out, but there's Hackett. He's got his pad against the board, flies up on his shoulder, comes back down on his pad. But the Jets need that. A third or fourth line chipping in for this hockey club.
You know, on Wednesday night, watched the action, and Mike Eastwood along the boards was pretty prominent that night, too, particularly in the first period. After that, that line didn't play much.
Well, you know, in the first two periods, you got to play four lines. Give these guys some ice time. Let them get some confidence, especially if they're playing well.
Newman and shot knocked down in front. And now the Hawks bring it away 3-on-2. Here's Murphy against Newman. Murphy trying to go around. Goes through the crease. Murphy with it again. Murphy gets by a hit. Murphy owning the puck. Lets it go. Have a ball on the save. Oh, Joe Murphy, what a shift.
I just say it, Kurt. Joe Murphy with that quick speed. We'll see it pick it up on the replay. Joe Murphy's got the good wheels out there. Here he comes down. We get a good pass from Carney. He comes down the right side. He goes around tempo, cuts to the net. Look at him put his body out there, and he just loses his footing at the end there. But this is going to be a good game, Kurt. Both clubs are skating well. They're playing the body, and this is the type of hockey fans love to see. And again, Murphy makes a little dip. Shot on Abby Bolin. Look at the play in front of the net. Everybody grabbing the guy. Good feisty work by both teams.
Murphy stays out there with Sutter and Probert for the face-off to Habibulin's right. Puck goes in behind the net. It's kicked to the corner. Shamnov and Murphy. Four of them battle for it. Korolev, Chelios. Big Probert is there. Sutter, McIver. It's a gathering, and the puck is beneath them. Now Murphy wins it again. He's hit hard by Shamnov. Then Murphy got his stick up on Shamnov. And apparently Shamnov's came up as well on Murphy. What kind of rolling are we going to get here? Shamnov hammered Murphy pretty good along the boards. Murphy's stick appeared to come up. And then they both favored their face.
Well, the referee is going to call a penalty. Here's Murphy. Zamnoff throws the check. Good for him. Do it more often. And now Murphy high sticks and pulls him down. And as Zamnoff goes down, the stick caps up and hits Murphy. And then you see the Jet defenseman going to play Chicago. But the referee is not going to call it. And at this point, Kurt, I'd rather let him play for a while. Heck with the penalty box.
Murphy's cut on the right side of his face, just above the eye.
Oh, that's a dandy. There's a hit by Zamnoff. Comes down. As he pulls him down, stick comes back down, hits Murphy. But this will cause some feisting with both clubs. We'll start to play the body, see the body play a little bit more.
No penalties, apparently. Although Bernie Nichols feels that referee Trottier should have been involved. Nichols, Amate, and Rowanek against Olczyk, Drake, and Tkachuk. Nichols is one of those guys, though, who's never short of things to say.
No, he'll talk about anything.
Here's Newman. Gets it back. It goes to Finley. Right side, Olczyk. He dumps it in. After it is Drake down deep. Drake puts it over for Tkachuk. That's picked off. Nichols for Rowanek. 3-on-2. The Hawks at center ice. It's dumped in. Back to get it is Finley. Finley trying to get by Amate. Finley tires Amate out. Tkachuk puts it behind the goal. Nichols is there. Centered. Rowanek poked wide. Here's Amate. Back it goes. Weinrich can't handle it. Suter dumps it in. Finley with it for Winnipeg. 8.5 left in a scoreless opening period. Both clubs at full strength. Tkachuk dumps it in. Olczyk goes after it in the corner. Chance. Now Drake. Drake is hit from behind by Nichols, and that is going to draw a penalty. Roughing the call against Bernie Nichols.
Even win a Quicksilver inflatable boat and Force Motor. The Mid-Canada Boat Show and Sale, February 28th to March 3rd at the Winnipeg Convention Center.
Keep your stick on the ice. First time I'm playing Sports Select, right? 2 games, no problem. 1 more, I win. We're up 1 goal. Seconds left. And then, breakaway. He shoots! What a shot! And I'm thinking, oh no, don't blow it. I've come this far. Don't blow it now. And then,
Go ahead. Then what happened?
well, he plucked it right out of the air. I won. My first crack at it.
Yeah, Kurt, I was mentioning about Trottier. I have no problem letting him play hockey. Incidents like this, Bernie Nichols. Dallas Drake doesn't see him. His face is right against his glass. His head snaps. That's where the referee has to take charge of the game. Players don't respect it. Players don't like it. Even Bernie's own teammates are saying, come on, that's not to play this game. Trottier should have given him a 5 or a game or 4 minutes. You just can't let players think they can get away with that type of hit. The player is totally helpless. Dallas Drake is lucky that he's okay.
Bernie Nichols threw a minor penalty for that. Boarding. Here's Tkachuk it is. Gets it back to the point. Newman in. Over to McIver's shot. Hackett save. Rebound. Shimnon shot. Hackett save. Chelios goes after it. McIver indeed cut right. Shimnon tried to pass it again. Now it's kicked at. McIver goes for it. McIver lost it. Newman bailed him out. Gets it into Tkachuk. Back to McIver. Over to Newman. Into Zhemnov. Back to Newman. Into Olczyk. Out front. Hackett knocked it away. Olczyk's pass just wide of McIver. And McIver was in great position. Here's McIver now. Drives it in. Shans goes after it. Tkachuk after him. Kearney puts it behind. Zhemnov is there. Goes to the corner with it. Zhemnov to the point. Newman and quickly over to McIver. Olczyk shot. And the save by Hackett. Oh, the Jets looking good in his power play.
Winnipeg Jets have confidence against the Chicago Blackhawk club. They're moving the puck around very well, and Eddie Olczyk lets the puck go very quickly. You'll see the Jets forwards are pressuring. We see Zamnoff jump in before Chelios. Zamnoff makes a nice play. He's bringing it back, gets it back to Temple, back over to McIver. Eddie O, watch how fast he releases it. It's a screen shot, Chelios in front of him, and unfortunately Tkachuk just couldn't get there to cause the double screen. But good movement and some shots from the high point. Usually the Winnipeg Jets try to work it down low, but now they got some shots from out high. Jets are shooting a lot more. They're out shooting the Chicago 11-3, and that's what Simpson wants to see. A lot more shooting on the power play.
They send out Stapleton now, along with Drake and Korolev up front. Tverdovsky back with Manson. Still a minute 4 left in that penalty to Nichols. Smith puts it into the corner. Chance wraps it around on the boards. Sutter wrapped up by Stapleton. Chelios and Manson go after it. Drake comes up looking in front of Korolev. Then tried to drop it to Stapleton, and that went for naught. Manson goes back to get it. Here's Manson. Watched by Sutter. Gets it to Stapleton. He dumps it in. Hackett missed it. Drake goes after it. In Dave Korolev. Stapleton puts it out front. And chances there. 27 seconds left in the penalty. Davidoffsky turns it around quickly to Korolev. His pass to Manson. Gains the line. Dumps it in. Smith sends it off the glass all the way. And 15 seconds left in the penalty to Nichols. Korolev back. Leaves it there for Oleg Davidoffsky. On the left side, McIver. Tried to dump it in. Swatted out of the air. Stapleton comes up with it. Now he dumps it in. The penalty to Nichols is history. Korolev goes after Roenick. Puck behind a Suter. Both clubs at full strength. 6 minutes left. Opening period. No score. Craven, center ice. Dumps it in. Back again, it is Finley. Watched by Nichols. Finley ahead now for Doan. Didn't see it coming. Suter puts it in. Poland gives chase. Finley will get there first. Taken in by Poland. Here's Suter. His shot blocked by Kilger to Doan to King. He flips it in. King goes after it hard. Hackett is out of the goal. King knocks it down. Kicks it behind the net. Kilger reaches for it down Muni. Behind the net, King. King looking at Kilger, trying to feed Doan. Knocked away. Doan after it now. Doan is checked. Poland can't get out. The Hawks having a hard time against the forecheck. As King runs into Nichols, and King went down. Muni goes back for it. 5 minutes left. Opening period. No score. Jets the dominant team. Newman dumps it in. Weinrich goes after it. Watched by Tkachuk. Weinrich fed that pass right between the feet of Tkachuk. It goes to center ice. Murphy flips it in. Tverdovsky with it there. A hit for Tkachuk by him. That'll go the distance. Chelios back. Watched by Tkachuk. Here come the Hawks out to center. Carney gets it over to Murphy. Back to Carney in front. Sutter. Push as he was reaching for that puck by Olczyk. And a veteran campaigner comes up on the limb.
Shooting Star Casino in Mahnomen, Minnesota has so much to offer in gaming, fun, and entertainment. There are 225 rooms in the attached luxury lodge, making it easy to stay and play at the Shooting Star. Enjoy the indoor swimming pool, jacuzzi, and atrium facilities. There's a sandwich deli, chuck wagon buffet, or elegant dining, plus big-name entertainment. It's National Cherry Month. Win up to $2,400 for $3 or less in February. Stay and play at the Shooting Star Casino in Mahnomen, Minnesota.
It's back, Robin's Donuts Cup of Value Sweepstakes, where you have a chance to win one of over 400,000 fabulous prizes. From fresh hot coffee to exotic getaways for two. The Cup of Value Sweepstakes at Robin's.
Tired of the everyday humdrum? Quit playing games.
Now you are the one who is it. Understood.
And turn up the TV.
Entertaining? Oh, yeah.
Sunday at 7:30 on CKND.
Hey. Well, Eddie Olczyk goes off for her hooking here. You know, you talk about a good penalty, bad penalty. Brent Sutter's got a clear shot in net. Eddie Olczyk comes all the way back, pushes Brent into the goalpost. You'll see the goalpost hits Brent high on the thigh. The pad just slips up. His pants slip up, so it catches right against the bare skin. No protection there at all. But Eddie Olczyk has got to come back that deep, and he's made a good play there. Here we see the Chicago power play. They're ranked 12th right now. Jets penalty kill 21st. Watch out for Chelios and Suter on the power play for Chicago.
Chelios to Suter. Dumped in deep. Now with it is Nichols. Nichols looks at Roenick in the corner, then lets it go. Habable and a save. Roenick to Nichols. In deep Roenick. Checked by Newman. He flips it all the way down the ice. Hawks on the season 2 for 14. on the power play and against the Jets. 3 for 14, pardon me. Here's Amante. Moves in. Flips it back. Chelios gets it over. Moving in Nichols. Nichols still has it. Puts it behind. Amante. Checked by Newman. King sends it off the boards and all the way down. Back with it is Chelios. 1:17 left in the penalty to Eddie Olczyk. Manson dumps it out to center. And with it is Chelios. To Suter. Suter works slow late. Now gets the pass off the stick of Roenick. And Hababullet covers it up. And Manson didn't like the fact that Roenick continued on through. Basically told Roenick not to mess with his goalie. In the first intermission, we'll have a conversation with Chad Kilger. And the Between Periods feature will be about penalty killing. We'll also have the MTS scoreboard. The Hartford Whalers in action again tonight. They're in Pittsburgh. And they're trailing 3-2.
Wow, we see the picture of Brent Sutter trying to stretch out that pain in his leg, but Brent's the wily old veteran. 1,000 games. He just says, it's a long way from my heart. I'll go up and play some more.
1:02 left in that Jet penalty. Craven, Daze, and Savard. Chelios stays on with Suter. Here's Suter with it now. His shot. Rebound, Daze. And Hababullet. He hasn't been called on often. It didn't have to be spectacular as far as the save was concerned, but he showed what an acrobat he is by gloving that rebound, bouncing from his knees.
Well, we'll see the Chicago power play. Everything starts back at the point. They try to get it back to Chelios, who will go right back to Suter. Back and forth. They always play it to each other. They get the good shot. Both of them can read who's in front of the net. Daze jumps on the rebound, but Hababullet, as Kirk said, jumped on that shot right away.
Here's Manson behind his goal. Manson gets by Savard. Flips it all the way down the ice. Backboard is Chelios. 45 seconds left in that penalty to Olczyk. Chelios gets it to Suter. Suter to center ice. Stopped there by King. King's clear was blocked. Craven looks over for Daze. Daze behind the net for Savard. Back to the point. Suter. Back to Savard. His pass. King knocked it away. Another tremendous work effort by Chris King in his first period. Puck is dumped in. Newman clears it out. Chelios goes back. Flips it to center. Grabbed there by Newman. Dumped in. In with it is Chelios. That runs out the penalty to Eddie O. Suter's pass to Sutter. Finley sends it back. Chelios has it. Looks to Sutter. Now Probert. Probert gets lots of room, not surprisingly. Lets it go. That's blocked. Gets it again. And sends it all the way back down the ice. Weinrich to get it for Chicago. Just under 2 minutes left in a scoreless opening period. Weinrich to Probert. Probert's pass stopped by McIver. Drake, McIver. McIver to center. Sends it off. Kachuk all the way in. Hackett pokes into the corner. Drake to the point. Muni. Muni for Drake. Drake looks back at McIver. Now kicks it. Olczyk, quick shot. And Hackett covers it up.
Well, the last couple of years, Kurt, Eddie Belfour has handled most of the load for the Chicago Blackhawks, and Carmen's boy played very well. But this year, Jeff Hackett's come in and won 16 games, his personal high. Some say that's going to help Eddie Belfour, especially near the end of the year. A lot of people felt that Belfour ran out of gas a little bit, even though he's a tremendously conditioned athlete. He just played so many games, they couldn't rely on anybody else. Hackett's jumped in, and Chicago could be a force to be reckoned in the playoffs with 2 goaltenders now instead of 1.
Off the face-off in the Chicago zone. Smith puts it into the corner. Chelios is there. A hit for Amante. Into the middle, Roenick. Hronek's pass, right side, Smith. Amate goes to the goal. Smith sends it there. Now Amate sends it back. It's knocked away by Korlap. After it is Doan. Hronek way out of the goal is Hackett. Here's Carl. Hackett is down in the ice. Korlap can't shoot it in. It will be offside. Doan can't get out. Hronek managed to hold Doan in the corner. And then Nichols gives Doan an elbow after the fact to the back of the head. Not quite sure what's into Bernie Nichols tonight.
Well, Trotty's letting some things go. Hackett comes out of the net to get the puck. Zamnoff almost beats him to it. And actually what happens, Hackett takes a run at Zamnoff. Knocks Zamnoff down. And what you're going to see right after this is that Chelios comes and cross-checks Zamnoff as if Zamnoff had hit Hackett. What happens there in the ice, so for the Winnipeg Jets? Somebody's got to go right to Zamnoff's rescue at that point in time. There's Nichols in the back of the head with Doan. Now, Doan's got to go after Nichols right there. I know he's a young guy, but he's got to go after it, start establishing a little bit of reputation. Hey, you can't do that to me. I don't care if I'm a rookie or not. And if you allow Bernie Nichols to take cheap shots at you, he'll try to control you for the rest of his career.
Well, Nichols did get a penalty for that. So we'll get another look at the Jet power play, which was good the last time, although obviously did not tally.
Well, young Shane Doan's learning a lot this year. Wait till he matures a little bit, gets a little stronger. And if he's got a book, just write down some names this summer and get even next year. But he's got the physical ability to play a tougher game.
Olczyk, Shamnov, Tkachuk, McIver, and Newman in the power play. Now Havelpulin puts it into the corner, and with it there is McIver. McIver's pass to Shamnov. Leaves it for McIver. Gives it to Newman. To Shamnov. Off him. Amate. Back to Chelios. Chelios sends it to center. McIver has to wait. And play is called.
One of the players the Chicago Blackhawks rely on, Hronek. And you see the helmet with the face guard on there. He has to wear that because of the wicked hit he took by Jeff Courtnall from St. Louis the other night. The people are telling me Chicago he's lost 6 pounds because he can't eat that much right now. And apparently he's playing better and skating better than he has all year because of the loss of weight.
Hronek in a penalty-killing roll with Amate. Amate goes after it. But play has been called. Right off the face-off.
We see Tony Amante gets the first hat trick in the United Center last night against the St. Louis Blues. He's starting to come along quietly for that Chicago Blackhawks. He's a good goal scorer, and he's starting to put some pucks in the net for them.
Chris Chelios has gone to the penalty box. Well, now he's getting out. Well, with only 22 seconds left, he's gone to the dressing room, but I don't believe he's the only player who went to the dressing room. There may have been coincidentals.
Well, Chris is one of those guys, Kurt, that you can get under his skin a little bit.
Chris Chelios, 2 minutes for high sticking, and the Winnipeg's number 44, Norm McIver, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalties, 19 minutes, 37 seconds.
McIver and Chelios go off together, so the Jets retain their one-man advantage, which has a minute 33 left. 22 seconds left in the opening period. No score. Olczyk is out with Shamnov and Tkachuk, Tverdovsky and Newman. Here's Shamnov with it now. Well, he had a man to his right, nobody to his left. He flipped it left. Now the puck is dumped all the way down the ice. Back to get it is Newman. Newman comes up, gives to Shamnov. Shamnov's pass just beyond the reach of Tkachuk, sent back out. Newman waits. Amate pushes him off the puck, and that will run out period 1. So the Jets will have a minute and 10 power play advantage to commence the second.
Well, Jeff Hancock playing a very good game for the Hawks right now. Stopped 12 shots in that first period. Young fella's won 6 in a row this year. He's a key guy for the Chicago Blackhawks in the next 2 periods.
In the first intermission, Joe Pascucci will be speaking with Jet rookie Chad Kilger. No score after 1. The Jets on CKND.
The Crafters Marketplace, Canada's largest indoor craft mall chain, has opened to rave reviews. We're a store of many talents, showcasing aisle after aisle of beautifully handmade items from North America's finest crafters. We're the never-ending, ever-changing craft show, open 7 days a week, in Kildonan Crossing Shopping Centre and Pembina Village Shopping Centre. Attention crafters, show and sell your crafts directly to the public without having to be there. Call the Crafters Marketplace for booth information.
As we returned to camp, we were surprised to find a family of vervet monkeys who had evidently found a new plaything. The vervets had figured out how to open the sunroof, adjust the air conditioning, and even turn on the stereo. The vervet's intelligence, however, was ultimately called into question as our Beethoven and Rachmaninoff CDs were left untouched. The preceding has been brought to you by the all-new Nissan Pathfinder, now with even more amenities for you to play with.
It's back! Robin's Donuts Cup of Value Sweepstakes, where you have a chance to win one of over 400,000 fabulous prizes. From fresh hot coffee to exotic getaways for two. The Cup of Value Sweepstakes at Robin's.
What can you do when a simple anti-wrinkle cream isn't enough?
I look for the most advanced products.
L'Oreal introduces Plenitude Revitalift, the double-performance anti-wrinkle and firming care. With Pro-Retinol A, Revitalift reduces the appearance of wrinkles in less than 2 weeks.
My skin is smoother.
With Paralastil, Revitalift increases skin's elasticity.
Face contours are more defined.
New Plenitude Revitalift Anti-Wrinkle and Firming Care from L'Oreal reduces the signs of aging.
What would you do if you won $6.49? I don't think it would change me. I really don't. Well, it might change me a little.
Winnipeg Jets had 12 shots in that first period. Chicago Blackhawks had 8, but the goaltenders didn't allow any of those goals as they are scoreless. And we're now with Chad Kilger, one of the newest members of the Winnipeg Jets. And Chad, first of all, welcome to Winnipeg. I know it's been about a couple weeks now, but over the trade now, over the initial reaction and maybe the shock?
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, I think once I getting here to establish myself and moved in with the family that I'm living with and just met the guys and felt comfortable and started playing, since then I felt pretty comfortable.
Now, many of the fans may know that your dad, Bob Kilger, was a former NHL referee, coached Cornwall Royals to a Memorial Cup. Now, as being a former official, does that mean you get breaks from the officials who knew your dad now?
No, not really. Some of them come over and talk to me once in a while. Like the older linesmen will come over and say that they used to babysit me or change my diapers when I was younger. So it's kind of funny just to hear them tell me that.
They don't drop the puck a little closer to your side on the faceoff?
I ask them to sometimes, but I don't think so. They do that too often.
What has Jets head coach Terry Simpson asked you to do here?
Just go out and work hard every day and just try to improve myself and help the team in any way I can.
This is a type of game where I guess the Jets would like you to be physical, use your size and your strength?
Definitely. I think that's part of the games with that part of my game that I can bring to the Jets and give them the opportunity of winning games. I'll do my part, whatever it is.
I know that when you first learned of the trade, you were quite pleased that you'd be playing with Keith Tkachuk, and in your first game you actually got to play on the line.
Yeah, I was excited about that. It's a great opportunity for me to watch him and learn from a player that's, he's a dominant player at this level at this time at the age of 23, so I think I can learn a lot from him.
And the Jets hope that Chad Kilger will be a dominant player for them down the road, and that road, of course, will take them to Phoenix. Thank you, Chad Kilger. The Jets and the Chicago Blackhawks are scoreless after one period. Coming up next, we'll go between periods. Jets head coach Terry Simpson will tell us about killing penalties. Our Molson Jets hockey telecast continues after this.
One of life's great rewards is doing the right things right. It's not traveling down the road of compromise. It's an unhurried journey towards fulfillment. And in the places you travel and the people you touch along the way, you've discovered one thing. It's the journey that counts, not the arrival.
From Italy, where generations have enjoyed the best of the sea, comes the Olive Garden's Italian Seafood Festival, featuring spicy new shrimp fra diavolo, just $10.95. We saute shrimp, create a sauce of hot red peppers, onions, and garlic, simmered in white wine and spices and bring them together in a fiery crescendo of Italian flavors. With unlimited free soup or salad and breadsticks. Spicy new shrimp fra diavolo, only at the Olive Garden, Canada.
It's one thing to claim that there's nothing more reliable than MTS Advantage 800 service. That over 99.99% of all calls on our long-distance network get delivered to their destinations. But what does that really mean to you and your business? Well, it means that the only way you're likely to miss a call is if you don't answer it. Advantage 800. Everything in business should be this reliable.
If you're like me, you know the importance of contributing to your RSP. It's one of the most significant financial decisions any of us can make. And that's why you should consider investing with CI mutual funds. At CI, you can choose from a range of 20 Canadian and international funds. And you have the assurance that your RSP will be managed by some of the most respected money managers in the world. Your financial advisor knows CI mutual funds. All you have to do is ask.
Promotional consideration provided by...
Start your day with Delco's new Freedom 84 battery. It guarantees you 7 years of worry-free starts.
Special teams, a big part of that first period. There were 4 penalties handed out. Chicago had to kill 3 Jet power plays. The Jets had to kill 1 of Chicago's. Well, we saw how the Blackhawks did it. Here's how the Jets kill penalties.
There's a couple of areas of penalty killing. First is on your forecheck. Some teams employ that I would call trap back system, where you swing in front of the net and then you come right back at the puck carrier with the first man, and then the second man pressures the pass. You like to try to get your defense to stay up through the neutral zone to try to hold the blue line as much as you can. It's difficult because you're outmanned, so if you give up the line, there's 2 or 3 different things that happen at that point. Sometimes a team carries it in, which you try to discourage that. The second thing is that if they rim the puck in, which that's the next probably most used play, and then that play, then you've got to make sure that you get a forward over on the boards, and you try to kick the puck back to the defense and then go back out the other side of the net with it, usually away from pressure. The conventional box system sort of turns around a little bit into a diamond, depending if the other team uses umbrella power play or whether they use the overload power play. And from there on, it's a matter of little things, keeping your stick in the passing lanes, keeping it on the ice. Big thing in penalty killing is to clear the puck down when you do get possession. A lot of times, if you don't, you get burnt on it if they get a second try at it. Penalty killers generally have to be smart players. I mean, your better penalty killers are smarter players. They anticipate because there's anticipation. A lot of times you see the power play send their point man right down to the back door of the net, and there's got to be awareness by your top forward that he's going down. He's the coverage there, and so really that sort of sums up penalty killing.
No score between the Jets and the Blackhawks here at the arena. Our first intermission will continue after this.
We plan for the important steps on this road we call life. Planning ahead helps obtain personal wishes and goals, and protects the family from unnecessary hardship. When many families prepare for tomorrow, they also make plans for cemetery and funeral arrangements. Then they can enjoy peace of mind, knowing they've done everything possible today for their family in the future. For a free booklet on planning ahead, contact Memorial Gardens.
Manitobans continue to invest in the Crocus Fund because it protects jobs and strengthens the Manitoba economy. Even as you watch your investment grow, you save on taxes now. Say you invest $1,000. You receive your normal RSP deduction, but more than that, you also receive a 20% provincial tax credit and a 20% federal tax credit. An $800 savings on every $1,000 investment. The Crocus Investment Fund, your best working investment in Manitoba.
February is year-end at Crepco, and we'd rather sell it than count it. For the rest of the month, get huge savings on Crepco's entire stock of pools, spas, chemicals, accessories, bath and plumbing fixtures, patio and rattan furniture, water treatment and purification systems, all at clearance prices. Plus, pay no GST or PST on selected items. Year-end clearance at Crepco, the Sun and Water Professionals. Now with 2 locations, Sargent at Berry and Lachaudière at Grassy Boulevard.
From Italy, where generations have enjoyed the best of the sea, comes the Olive Garden's Italian Seafood Festival, featuring spicy new shrimp fra diavolo, just $10.95. We saute shrimp, create a sauce of hot red peppers, onions, and garlic, simmered in white wine and spices, and bring them together in a fiery crescendo of Italian flavors. With unlimited free soup or salad and breadsticks, spicy new shrimp fra diavolo, only at the Olive Garden, Canada.
Ted, Terry Simpson was telling us this morning that he wanted a team to be identified by their work ethic, his team, and I think that's what he had in the first period, a hard-working hockey club.
Terry Simpson could have that kind of work ethic every game. He'd be so happy. Terry was saying that, everybody talks about the talent of this hockey club. He says there's not that much talent. He said, we need hard work. We got 2 or 3 players that are very talented, but every club in the NHL does. The difference with the other clubs is the hard work for 60 minutes. And that first period, Terry Simpson likes what he sees out there.
Wednesday night, they looked pretty good in the first period, too. Then what happened?
The dreaded second period. And this is what the Winnipeg players even talk about. We got to get through the second period. Unfortunately for Winnipeg, Chicago's outscored them 6-2 in this series, and Chicago outscores their opposition 79-53 in the second period. So Chicago plays a lot better in the second period than the Jets have been in the past.
Well, we'll see how the second period shapes up in a moment. Stand by for that face-off here on CKND Winnipeg TV.
There's a tremendous amount of competition for mutual fund companies, all seeking your RSP dollars. We're independent advisors and represent most of them.
February is year-end at Crepco, and we'd rather sell it than count it. For the rest of the month, get huge savings on Crepco's entire stock of pools, spas, chemicals, accessories, bath and plumbing fixtures, patio and rattan furniture, water treatment and purification systems, all at clearance prices. Plus, pay no GST or PST on selected items. Year-end clearance at Crepco, the Sun and Water Professionals. Now with 2 locations, Sargent at Berry and Lachaudière at Grassy Boulevard. Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by MTS, Canadian Tire, Winnipeg Jeep Eagle, 1430 Ellis at Arena Road, and by McDonald's. Have you had your break today?
So the second period about to get underway. There was no scoring in the first. There were a few penalties. And in fact, in the opening minute and 10 seconds of the second period, the Hawks will be shorthanded with Bernie Nichols serving the rest of his penalty. The Jets outshot the Hawks 12-8. And an update on that score involving the Manitoba Bisons. It's now 2-2, and that is game one of that Canada West semifinal series. It is a best-of-3 affair. Jet Wives Carnival goes tomorrow, noon to 4 at the Convention Center. And while I've got the opportunity, I'd like to mention that a week from tomorrow, that's the 2nd of March, all adult-age Jet fans are invited out to McPhillips Street Station. And some all-time greats will kick off a special Season to Remember promotion starting at 10:30 that morning. That's a week from tomorrow.
Canadian Tire has great prices on everything you need. Plus, earn Canadian Tire money with every cash purchase of merchandise. Great prices made better at Canadian Tire.
So the Jets on a power play to get things underway in this second period. They send out Eddie Olczyk, Alexei Zhamnov, Keith Tkachuk up front, Tebo Newman in his bag with Oleg Tverdovsky, Jeremy Roenick, and Tony Amonte. The penalty killers up front for Chicago, backed by Carney and Weinrich. It's dumped into the Blackhawk zone. Carney and Olczyk go in after it. Zhamnov joins in, so does Roenick. Zhamnov knocks it free. Here's Tverdovsky, Tkachuk in traffic. Zhamnov, Olczyk, Tkachuk. Oleg Tverdovsky moves in, gives it to Newman. He puts it in front, and Carney pokes it out to center ice. Newmanen gets it over to Tverdovsky. 41 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Newmanen to Olczyk. Now Carney flips it high, and that goes all the way down the ice. Backboard is Teppo Newmanen. Pass for Tverdovsky, watched by Craven. It goes ahead now to Tkachuk. Tkachuk's pass to Zhamnov. Zhamnov works high, looks back, gets it to Tverdovsky. He lets it go. Rebound. And the save. Olczyk trying to flip it home, and Jeff Hackett made the save. All the way back to get it is Tverdovsky. His pass to Manson. Across to King. The penalty is over. Nichols is out of the box. King dumps it in. It goes to the corner. Chance lost it. Here's Doan moves in front. Doan's pass goes into the corner. Craven off the glass. Stopped at center. Manson has it. Manson backs up, gives to Stapleton. Stapleton swings by a check. Lets a long shot go over top. It bounces out in front. Probert and Stapleton in the corner. Probert's pass to Sutter. Sutter tried it for Probert. It goes back into Jet territory. Manson to Kilger. Kilger turns with it. Comes loose to Probert. Bodied by King. Finlay. Now Manson follows up. Manson goes wide. Dumps it in, and Smith has it. Jets make a wholesale change. Here comes Weinrich. Probert. Stopped by Muni. Sutter. Smith. Dumps it in. Back is Tverdovsky. Tverdovsky looks to the left. Finds his man Muni, who dumps it in. Hackett in behind. Around for Probert. Tip to Nichols. Try the pass. Just too far for Roenick. And covering up is Habibulin.
One thing about the Chicago Blackhawks shirt, they play with the same intensity for 60 minutes. The Winnipeg Jets need some spark from the power play. One of the things Terry Simpson was asking for, young Oleg Tverdovsky, shoot the puck. And look at this. Finally, wacko, a good shot right on the ice, rebound, and Hackett makes a good save. But they need Tverdovsky shooting from the point. He's got a good shot, and he's got two guys in front of the net. That's what they want to see more of. Let the forwards in front fight for the rebounds. Good play by Tverdovsky. Terry Simpson said they got to teach him every day, and they taught him well on that play.
2.5 gone in a scoreless second period. You know, we talked before about how good the Chicago-Winnipeg games have been in the past, and this 0-0 score reminds of the night they went into overtime. Scoreless. Nilson Emerson batted the puck into the Chicago net with his glove. Referee Danny Morrell was the only guy who didn't see it, let it go. Brian Sutter, the coach, then went a little nuts. So not surprisingly so, the Jets had themselves an overtime win. Here's Newman. Ahead for Kachuk. Pass goes off Drake. Here's Carney to Amade. Dumped it in. Newman wrapped it around Kachuk. It goes down to Wolchek. Left there, picked up. Here's Murphy. Roenick it is, dumps it in. Now Nichols goes after it in the corner. Nichols back for Roenick. His pass picked off. Wolchek for Newman. Here's Amade, 3-on-1 over the line. Gets it. Roenick banned on the shot. Puck goes into the corner. Roenick and Finley. Now it goes to Nichols. Nichols trying to work. Puts it out the net. Finley knocks it away to Drake. Drake pass. Chelios poked it ahead to Nichols. Nichols with Amade. Gains the line. Back to Daze. Shot. And the save by Habibulin.
Freedom. Independent. What it is, it is.
Oh, retirement's good.
Dad's beating me bad.
Claiming my RSP made life easy.
And he makes it look so easy.
Sure glad I had expert advice.
Dad, I need your advice.
Laurentian Bank, son.
Huh?
For 150 years, you've put your trust in us to help you reach your financial goals. And for that, we'd like to say thank you.
Welcome back. I am with Jeff Thompson and Mark Chipman. They are the new owners of the International Hockey League team, the Minnesota Moose, which won't be the Moose because they're coming to Winnipeg. Jeff, I know you closed a deal with Winnipeg Enterprises today. Is the I-League for sure coming to Winnipeg?
Yeah, absolutely. The National Hockey League will be in Winnipeg next year.
Mark, it's 14,000 here tonight. How many fans do you hope to attract on an average basis to the I-League games here?
Well, obviously we'd love to have 14,000. I think more realistically we're going to be looking, in the 7,000 to 8,000 range is where we would like to be, and anything up from there will be just terrific.
All right, thanks guys. Good luck next season.
Thanks a lot.
That's Jeff Thompson and Mark Chipman, the owners of the IHL team, coming to Winnipeg. Here's at the blue line, Weinrich, a shot off the backboard. Now Daze trying to jam it in, and Habibulin kept him out. Here's Nichols. Now it's dumped into the corner. Daze behind the goal, goes to the corner with it. Daze looks, gets it to Savard. Savard works out front. Craven reaches for it, and Jamnov wrapped him up. Good work by this line of the Hawks. Now McIver gets it to Korolev, who starts out with Eastwood. Korolev gets to the line. Dumps it wide of the goal. Jamnov goes after it. Craven will get there. Craven's pass for Suter by him goes all the way down the ice. Going to get it is Manson. 5 minutes gone in the second period. No score. Jamnov's pass by Korolev goes all the way down. Hackett pumps it around on the boards. It's dumped up the middle. Tverdovsky goes back. Gives to Manson. His pass to Jamnov. To Tverdovsky. Tverdovsky hit by Pullen. Pocket center. Shens dumps it in. Going back is Manson. Poked around to Korolev. That's flipped on to center. Carney checked by Stapleton. Ulanov goes back. Here's Pullen and Eastwood. It goes to Shens. He gives to Smith. Smith moves up to the jet line, trying to cut across. And offside on his right side was Jim Cummins.
Steve Smith, the Chicago Blackhawks, a little concerned about Steve. He has back problems and spasms, and they just never know when he's ready to play in that, and they need him out there. He's a veteran player, but since he had that fight with Ty Domi a couple of years ago, he just hasn't been the same guy. The injuries have been hurting him a little bit, and he's a veteran defenseman, and Chicago needs him out there, but right now they just don't know when he's able to play.
Yeah, that time Ty Domi and he went at it. In fact, Domi knocked him out, and he broke his leg falling to the ice. Here's Finley. Gets it to Newman. To Eastwood. Knocked out to center. With it is Hulanov. To Shan. He's checked. Hulanov gets it over to Smith. Smith's pass goes to Cummins. Cummins gets up to the jet line. Lets it go. Now Newman takes it in behind his goal. Puts it off the glass. That goes all the way down. Going back is Hulanov. And it's icing against Winnipeg.
Igor Ulanov. Remember, Winnipeg here, fans just didn't know whether to like him or not like him. Some nights he came out and played very physical, then some nights he came out and he handled the puck like a hand grenade. He's found a home in Chicago, and they're quite happy with him. He's an instigator, he plays the body, and they're prepared to live with his mistakes. And that's the difference between a veteran hockey club and a young hockey club like the Jets. Chicago can play him as a sixth man. They can use him every once in a while. They don't put too much pressure on him, where in Winnipeg he had to play regular, and he's just not capable of playing a regular shift all the time.
Well, I understand he's going to have a little more responsibility in April. He becomes a papa. Face-off in the circle to the right of the Jet goal, and they drop it unfairly. 5:55 gone in the second. No score.
It's a good line for Chicago Blackhawks with Murphy and Sutter and Probert. They've had some good games recently, and actually been said that they're the best line in the last couple of games.
Here's Carney at the point. Lets it go wide. Now Stapleton, as it rides the boards, waits and kicks it out just too far for Shannon. Well, the Jets would have been gone on a 2-on-1. Hackett puts it into the corner. Now in deep to get it is Tverdovsky. He slides it in front, and the Hawks can't get out. Doan dumps it in. Shannon is there. Shannon frees it for Doan. Doan in behind the net. Sutter can't get it out. Manson pumps it in. After it, Probert along with Tverdovsky. Sutter leaned into by Shannon. Probert takes the puck. Working there against Shamnov, who wins it, gives to Tverdovsky. Over to Manson. Gets it to Shannon against Chelios. Shamnov knocked it ahead. Probert picked it off. He was checked. Shamnov trying to make some room. Gives it to Manson. Here's Manson. Looks out for Shamnov. Flips it in behind the goal. Chelios has it go into the corner. Tkachuk looks in front. Nobody there. Has to wait. Puts it back to Shamnov. He dropped it to Newman, who moves in. Lets it go. Newman in the corner. To the other side. Here's Tkachuk. Shamnov. And the pass was knocked away. Now with it, Murphy. Flipped it back to the Jet line. And going there with it is Finley. His pass for Drake. Drake puts it into the zone. Carney is back. Puts it to center ice. Roenick looks for Amante. Has to circle with it. 7.5 gone in the second as Nichols moves in. Here's Nichols. Shot. Have a bull in the save. And Tkachuk starts out. Tkachuk with Drake, who takes the pass. Tkachuk goes to the net. Drake, checked by Suter. It goes to Roenick with Amante. Roenick gets to the line. Finley stopped in. Now Newman for King, and Jeremy Roenick is down in the ice. And he's heading straight to the dressing room.
Why is preparing your income tax such a hassle?
Oops.
Well, there's a slight delay.
Oops.
You make the odd mistake.
Oops.
Let H&R Block take the oops out of tax filing. Our experienced preparers will complete your return thoroughly and accurately for a reasonable fee and get you your maximum refund. We can even express file your return directly into the government computers. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed. So come to H&R Block. We take the oops out of taxes, guaranteed.
Ah, retirement.
Dad's beating me bad.
Planning my RSP made life easy.
And he makes it look so easy.
Sure glad I had expert advice.
Dad, I need your advice.
Laurentian Bank, son.
Huh?
For 150 years, you've put your trust in us to help you reach your financial goals. And for that, we'd like to say thank you.
Wow, we see the coaching staff of both hockey clubs. Craig Hartsburg is wondering what has happened to his leading scorer, Jeremy Roenick. Terry Simpson's not too concerned because he doesn't mind Roenick's off the ice, but that was just a wicked hit.
Roenick in collision with his teammate Gary Suter. Here's Finlay. Drives it into the Chicago zone. Kachuk leaves it there. Here's Olczyk for Drake in behind the goal. Drake tied up by Suter. Now Amante. It's dug out by Kachuk. Moves in front. His shot saved by Hackett with Olczyk at his doorstep. Here's Olczyk with it again. Olczyk trying to wrap it around. Newman moves it. Centers. And the Hawks try to get a 2-on-1. Amante couldn't reach the puck. It's dumped in, and back forward is Finlay. Gives it to Newman. His pass beyond the reach of Drake. Suter has it. Into Daze, who gives to Nichols. Nichols swings by a check from Kachuk. Into the line. Draws it on. Suter's shot. Ababula knocks it away. Poulin in behind. Daze, the big guy, comes around. He brought backhand by Poulin. And now Drake. Kachuk pokes it through and all the way down. Hackett to Suter. Ahead is Savard against McIver. McIver wraps him up. Poulin follows up. King and Poulin battle along the board. Savard and McIver. Again, it's Poulin and King. Muni comes up with it nearing the midway mark in the second period. Still no score. Stapleton to McIver. Gets it over the line. King charges after it. Takes it behind the goal. Here's King trying to wrap it around. It's taken away by Smith. 3-on-2. The Hawks in over the line. Here's Craven. Shot. Rebound. In with it, McIver to Stapleton as they open it up. He gives it to Kilger. Kilger checked by Smith. One-hands it. Here's Stapleton in behind. Looks in front. Tverdovsky can't get the backhand away. Takes it deep. Lots of traffic in front. Tverdovsky knocked off the puck. And Hackett covers up. But the skaters were wheeling.
Wow, the Winnipeg Jets will be drawing more and more confidence as the period goes on. They're in the game 0-0, and that was a couple of good shifts in a row. They start to draw a little bit more, drawing a little bit more confidence. Here we got Kilgore is a big boy. He goes right toward the net. You'll see the puck come out the stable. He just throws it out blindly for the Winnipeg Jets. Tverdovsky jumps in there, gets a backhand shot. He's going to throw it out front. And they've got Chicago running around a little bit. There we're starting to see the offensive skills of Tverdovsky. He likes to control the puck. The more confidence he gets, the better he'll be at that. We're at a point right now where Chicago is a veteran hockey club. Last night's win or loss and traveling here late at night really won't affect them too bad. Where it'll hurt them is if Winnipeg Jets get a goal or two up and top, then that mentally will drain the Chicago Blackhawks more than it will physically.
Here's McKenzie back to Tverdovsky. Lets it go. Now McKenzie has it again. Trying to flip it in front. McKenzie knocks his man off the puck. It goes to Eastwood. Eastwood battling along the boards with Sutter. Kicks it to McKenzie. Here's McKenzie. Works it in front with Eastwood and Shannon there. And this line has been winning all the battles along the boards. Eastwood, Shannon, and McKenzie.
Well, we talked to Terry Simpson about the word cycling, where there we see Jeremy Roenick is back on the ice. Watch the cycle. What they're saying is, watch how the two Winnipeg forwards stay in the one corner. And they work the boards, work the boards. They're going to help each other out now. All of a sudden, the puck comes loose. McKenzie makes a nice play there. Now his forward partner jumps in there in Shannon. That's just good work in the corner where three guys are just going to work and work and work. And they were controlling the Chicago defensemen. I bet you Roenick's happy that he's back out there. He spent enough time off with the other jaw injury, and I'm sure that just snapped it. He probably feels very good. That was just a sharp pain. They had a quick look at it, and he's back out there again.
Here's Weinrich. Puts it into the corner with it there, Suter. Suter's pass, stopped by Tverdovsky. Now Probert grabs it. Here's Probert with Suter, trying to work his way through. Suter into the corner. Tverdovsky working against Suter. Probert comes in, gives it to Murphy. Murphy goes outside Manson, now tries to cut inside, and Eastwood hauls it away. Gives it to Shannon. Shannon dumps it in, goes after it himself, trying to center, now takes it behind. Shannon and Suter. McKenzie comes up with it. McKenzie behind the net to Shannon. Shannon's got two bodies in front, now three is Manson. Here's McKenzie, can't jam it in. Well, they're all going to the net. Here's Finley at center. He drives it in. Korolev with it now. He's checked. Newman at center ice. 8:45 left in the second period. No score. Shane Doan takes it deep for Winnipeg. Goes in behind. Trying to escape Suter. Gets it to Korolev. And now it's taken by Weinrich. He's out with Roenick, who takes the pass. Dropped it to Amate. Amate spins, puts it in, and Newman gives it to Doan. Doan with Shemnov and Korolev. He dumps it in. Hackett. Good pass to Amate. Sent to Roenick in flight. Gains the jet line. Trying to beat Newman and dropped it off. Here's Amate. Fired it between the feet of Finley, just wide. Chelios puts it in. Then it's sent back out. And Carney goes to get it. Keith Carney's pass to Amate. Amate gives it to Daze, working it backhand. Have a bull in the save. Off the top scoring rookie in the NHL, Eric Daze.
I'd like to be like my dad. I'd like to be an egg farmer.
Mike Hart, egg farmer, Southern Alberta. I think eggs are just the greatest. I'm a third-generation egg man. They can be used so many ways.
Deviled eggs, fried eggs, poached eggs.
They're a good, quick food.
Pickled eggs.
Something you can just pick up on the run.
Omelets.
They've got to be one of the most versatile food products there is.
Fried eggs. Did I say that one?
I like my eggs any way I can get them, preferably cooked. Sorry.
It seems ironic that trucks so diligently engineered to be quiet would have so much volume. Dodge Ram and Dodge Ram Club Cab, the roomiest pickups on the road. Dodge. Canada's truck stop.
In a second intermission, Joe Pascucci will be speaking with Paula King, Elena Manson, and Rena Shankaro about tomorrow's Jets Wives Carnival at the Convention Center. Also a news line update with the ubiquitous Barry Burns and Dirt Devil trivia. And that Kids Carnival begins at noon and goes until 4 at the Convention Center. You can get autographs from your favorite Jet, and you can also sign up to be a Kids TV Kid. A carnival to remember tomorrow noon to 4. Keith Kachuk will be there. Get to meet Oleg Tverdovsky. This the second of a 4-game homestand for the Jets. The Leafs will be here on Wednesday night. Pardon me, that's our next telecast. That's our next telecast is March 13th. And that's out of Toronto. It's the Los Angeles Kings who will be here coming up for the next home game for the Jets. Here's a backhand wide. Now Drake goes to get it for Winnipeg. Sends it out to center ice. Carney fires it back in. And going for it, Abapulin pokes it into the corner. Daze tried it for Savard. Knocked in deep. His centering effort, and it's covered up on by Nikolai Hababulin.
Well, Kurt, that's number 55 for the Chicago Blackhawks, young Daze. He's 6'4", 205 pounds. He's leading the rookies in the NHL with 27 goals. But he's had 8 or 9 chances tonight just because of his size and his strength and the stretch he's got to get the puck. He's had all kinds of chances, and there's nobody big enough in the Jets to handle him right now, so I'd watch out for him a little bit more. He's getting way too many chances, and when a goal scorer gets hot, he'll keep going to the net on you. He's got to be bigger than 6'4". Nobody's that big.
He's still growing. He was the leading scorer for Team Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championships and was named an All-Star in that tournament. You know, he was a third-round pick. Here's McIver with it. Now he takes it away, gives it to Olczyk. Dumped into the Chicago zone. After it in the corner, Tkachuk and Chelios. Now it goes to Drake. In behind for Olczyk. Olczyk gets it back to Tkachuk. They battle for it in behind the Chicago goal. Carney has it now, looks for Savard, and it goes to center. Muni dumps it back in. Here's Carney with it. Checked by Drake. It goes to Craven. Craven dumps it all the way down, and back to get it is McIver. McIver leaves it in the corner. Savard and Muni. It's in behind the net. Savard trying to fight off Muni. Maintains possession, now gives it to Craven. Ledeze in front, the pass. Glove by McIver. Put it by Tkachuk. That goes all the way down, and Chelios is back for it. Gives it to Carney. No score. 6.5 left in the second period. Habibulin covers up with Jeff Shantz moving in.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets tonight, I think Coach Terry Simpson is going to be very pleased what he sees out there. What we're seeing is the Winnipeg Jets helping each other much more than we've seen in recent games. If a defenseman's left alone with two Chicago Blackhawks in their own end, one of the forwards is coming back out and help the defenseman. And as Terry's saying, we have to help each other out there, and that's just concentration and hard work. And Winnipeg Jets are doing a very good job so far. They're learning very well from the Chicago team, who does that very well too. Help each other, help each other.
Stay with us in tonight's post-game show for the crunch of the game, brought to you by Vernas Auto Body, 160 Higgins Avenue in Winnipeg. It could very well be the hit on Suter put on Roenick, the way things stand to this point. Kilger and Shantz face off to the left of Habibulin. Shantz and Manson. Now it goes to Pullen into Shantz. Cummins. Hit in against the boards by Kilger. Pullen. Pullen looks out here. Shantz shot. Habibulin save. Rebound. Pullen in front. Manson knocked it away. Now Shantz with it again. As the Hawks have total control. Doing a job cycling in the jet zone. Here's Pullen for Shantz. Now with it is Stapleton. He knocked it onto center ice. Smith gives to Ulanov. To Shantz. Davidovsky back. Puts it across to Manson. His pass ahead to Kilger. Poked outside. Shantz. Against King. Stapleton steals it. Dumps it in. Avoids the hit from Ulanov. Smith has it behind his goal. Steps in front. Now gets it over. Check. King moves it in. Ulanov. Ahead for Pullen. His pass to Smith. Smith up to the jet line and dumps it in. And Finley takes it. Just over 5 minutes left in the second. No score. King pumps it in deep. Probert took a run at King and missed. Probert wound up tumbling to the ice. Here's Weinrich. Gets out to center ice. Gains the jet line. Can't get through. Jeff Finley has had a strong game for the Jets. Dumps it out to center to Shannon. He gives it to Zhendov. He's checked. And with it now is Sutter. Sutter's pass goes to Suter. Gets over the jet line against Finley. Finley rides him out. McIver sends it to the corner to Korolev. His pass to Shannon with Zhendov. Shannon gets over the line. Works in, dropped it off. Knocked away by Weinrich. Zhendov. 3 Hawks around him. Zhendov battles them. Maintains possession. A 4th Hawk moves in. He slides it behind him. Now Shannon. Working with it. It's flipped back into the Hawk zone. And Weinrich. Korolev bears down on him. It's taken by Probert. Probert to center. To the jet line. It's offside.
Play Safeway, score and win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win a set of quality appliances from Tefal. A 20-piece set of Bacasa fine china in the Currents pattern. A Gold Star Start Touch 2 VCR. Or a Texas Instruments personal organizer. You could also win a trip for two to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway's participating products, Tropicana Premium Pure Orange Juice, and Purex Bathroom Tissue. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
Now is the time to take a good look at your goals for the future. The people at Astra Credit Union are here to help you reach those goals, one step at a time. Drop into Astra today, and we'll discuss your RSP needs and how they fit into your overall financial picture. An Astra Retirement Savings Plan puts your goals within reach.
Credit unions and a reason to believe.
Well, Big Bob Probert, you know, physical presence out there. Watch Chris King. Shoots the puck in. Now he sees Probert coming. Chris King puts his hand behind Probert's neck and just kind of knocks him down the ground. Looks over his shoulder and says, who was that big lug I just knocked down? But Probert will be back, and so will Chris King.
Still no score. 4 minutes, 5 seconds left in the second period. Shots on goal, 19 aside. Carney at center. Dumps it into the jet zone. Abelbolen leaves it there for Finlay. Puts it into the corner. Finlay comes out with it. Now gets it on the left side to Tkachuk. He moves it to center. He gains the line. Tkachuk puts it in front. Directed wide by Doan. Carney has it now. Checked by Tkachuk. Carney does get it over to Chelios for Roenick. Newman in against him. Roenick down to Carney, to center ice, to the jet line, to Amade. Looking rink wide for Roenick. Centers it. Tkachuk chopped it and comes up with it. Here's Keith Tkachuk. Keith Tkachuk moves it, lets it go. Oh, he fired that one hard. It went over top. It's in behind the goal. Chelios. Approached by Shannon, flipped it to center. Just over 3 minutes left in the second period. No score. Olczyk gets over the Hawk line. It's offside.
Eddie Olczyk scored a good goal the other night for the Winnipeg Jets against the Canucks. Tied up the game. Eddie's got 20 goals this year and limited ice time. He's a key man on their power play and has a nose for the net. He's not happy on that offside. Keith Tkachuk can be the power forward. Watch the wrist shot here. That's a long way out, snaps it. He puts it over top of the net. As you can see, Hackett was on his way down. But Tkachuk has that ability to release the puck very quickly, and he can score a lot of goals off a quick shot like that.
Stay tuned following the game for the Jim Gauthier Big Easy play of the game, brought to you by the home of the Big Buy, Jim Gauthier, Chevrolet's Geo Cadillac. Puck in the Hawk zone. Smith gives it to Hulanov. Hulanov's pass for Craven. Craven can still move. And he had those wheels churning, but the pass was just too far.
Murray Craven, the gentleman that was benched basically by the Vancouver Canucks for almost a year because he wouldn't sign a contract, and ended up coming back to Chicago, but really hasn't had a chance to really get it going. He's got the good wheels, good penalty killer. He can score some goals. He's played well in the playoffs, but they need a little more offense out of him. We're seeing right now Chris King is out on the ice, and I think he's out there to check Big Daze, who's had far too many chances for the Winnipeg Jets coaching staff liking.
Craven and Kilger in the face-off circle. Daze gets it back to Hulanov, who gives it to Steve Smith. Back it goes to Hulanov. Into the middle, Kilger. Now the puck to Manson. To King. King gets over the line, dumps it in, and Hulanov gives it to Craven. Craven's got Savard with him. He takes the pass. Here's Savard trying to finesse it by Manson. They got the glove in Savard's face and cut that one off. Here's Hulanov. Shot. Saved by Abelbolen. It's sent out to center. King had Kilger to his right. And Steve Smith knocked that pass away. Here's Craven to Hulanov. Pass to Savard at center ice. Relay for Daze, and King is with him every step. King puts it into the corner. Tverdomsky. Ahead now for Korolev. Checked by Savard. That's dumped back in. And going to get it is Tverdomsky. To Kilger. To Shannon. To Korolev. To Shannon. Kilger goes to the net. Shannon's pass across from Muni. His shot is wide. Shannon and Suter in the corner. 4 of them there now. And Weinrich comes up with a free puck and flips it high. And off Tim Shovelday, who's sitting in the bench.
There we see Brent Sutter, his 1000th game, as we said before. Brent Sutter, 986 minutes in penalty, which surprised me a little bit. One of the quality players. If you want your youngster to grow up to be a hockey player, not a bad guy to fall, but the secret about the Sutter family is off the ice and how they respect the fans, the owners, and the Sutter boys just love to play the game. It's a pleasure talking to them because they have so much respect for the game of hockey. You know, Kurt, 0-0, people say, oh, this is boring. This is a tough hockey game to play right now. It's physical, it's grinding, it's great hockey.
Good crowd at the Winnipeg Arena tonight. Well in excess, I'm sure, of 14,000. Here's Shannon in behind the Huckle. Centers it. Probert knocked it out to center. McIver takes it back to his zone. Flips it to center. Now with it there is Sutter. Sutter to Probert. Against McIver. Murphy and Shannon along the boards. It's dumped back in. And going forward is Muni. Muni watched by Probert. It goes to Tkachuk. Puts it back to McIver into the last minute of period 2. No score. The shot's 20-20. McIver goes by Probert. Finds some room. Gains the line. Now comes it in. Hackett, who loves to play the puck like Eddie Belfour does. Now McIver puts it out in front, and it's knocked away. Back to get it is Finley, and that'll be icing against the Blackhawks with 24 seconds in a period.
Hawks with Dirk Graham, assistant coach, former player, Chicago Blackhawks. The epitome of the Chicago Blackhawk. Hard work, hard nose, worked for 60 minutes. They've named him assistant coach, and you can see he's kept that presence for that Chicago team as far as hard work. He's passed that on to some of the younger forwards. Young Hartsburg, he still looks like he could play out there. Good shape, young guy. I don't know if he shaves yet or not.
You know, Terry Simpson was talking about that this morning, though. He's talking about different teams have a reputation for a different style of play. And the Hawks have always been known as a pressure team. And the Jets really have never established a particular type of character. Here's Amade. Flips it high. And back at center ice is Newman. He drives it in. Chelios against Olczyk. Tkachuk is there as well. It's in behind the goal. Olczyk battling for it with Suter. Now it's centered. Nichols puts it outside. And it runs out the second period.
Keith Tkachuk complained to the referee that they got hit in the head. Trotier's not going to call anything right now. Keith just better watch himself. Harvey Boone, 12 saves that period. Kept the Jets in there. Their bad second period. They come out of this with no goals against. We'll see where Tkachuk gets knocked down here. You can see there's Chelios, knocks him down, cross-checks him basically in the ribs. There's no protection there. And a guy like Keith Tkachuk, when you knock the wind out of him, you know you've hit him pretty hard.
Up next, Joe Pascucci will be speaking about the Jets Wives Carnival. Coming up tomorrow, he'll be speaking with Paula King, Alana Manson, and Irina Shenkro. Scoreless after 2 periods of play.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Sonny and Cher.
Just put your little arm in mine, 'cause there ain't no lower price that you can find, babe.
Like this beautiful contemporary sofa, only $5.99.
I got you, babe.
Plus, right now, you don't pay for 1 year.
They say our love won't pay the rent, but at Leon's, you don't pay a cent, babe.
Leon's, Canada's only furniture superstores.
CK&E Kids TV is going to the Winnipeg Jets Wives Carnival Saturday, February 24th. We'll be there signing up kids to become members of Winnipeg's coolest kids club, CK&E Kids TV. The first 1,000 to sign up will receive Dunkaroos and Sour Gushers. And when you join, you automatically become eligible to win great prizes every day. Join in the fun and become a member of CK&E Kids TV at the Jets Wives Carnival, February 24th at the Convention Center.
First, you've got to open the box.
A stirring thought.
And then you've got to wake up the noodles.
A stirring smile.
Then when it's all perfect, we get to eat.
A stirring moment.
And isn't that the best part?
From Lipton Soup. Yeah.
When you buy a mutual fund, aren't you really investing in a professional money manager? Well, at CI Mutual Funds, we've got the right people in the right places. Like John Zechner, managing CI's Canadian portfolios, Sean Chan, advising the Asia-Pacific funds, and Bill Sterling, our global strategist in New York. Each highly respected, well-connected, and performance-driven. Your financial advisor knows CI's money managers. All you have to do is ask.
While we're still waiting for a goal to be scored in this game, the Blackhawks and the Jets are scoreless after 2 periods of play. And coming up tomorrow at the Convention Center between 12:30 and 4:30, it'll be the Jets Goals for Kids, the Jets Wives Carnival. And I am surrounded here. Joining me, right beside me, is Rena Shankro. Next to Rena, sitting down, is Lana Manson. Behind Rena is Amy Boyton. She is Dallas Drake's fiancée. And behind here, Anne Moret Nemi, and she is Teppo Numanen's better half. Rena, the Goals for Kids Foundation and the Jets Wives Carnival has raised a lot of money for children's charities in Manitoba.
We certainly have, Joe. This is our 7th carnival, and we've raised in total well over $500,000, and we're hoping to do a lot better tomorrow.
Lana, how much planning has gone into this year's carnival?
For the last 2 days, all the wives and organization have been getting together at the convention center, setting all the games up. We've made boxes for 2 days straight, 2,400 of them, and just got all the preparations ready for the big day tomorrow.
Amy, is this the first Wives Carnival for you? And
yes, it is.
And I guess they've been telling you how crazy it is out there.
Yeah, they've said there's lots of people and it's just packed.
Okay, now is Teppo going to be going into the dunk tank tomorrow?
I don't think so. I don't think he's ever done that. So.
Rena, what is the most popular event at the Wives Carnival?
Well, I think the prize boxes is the first thing to go. In past years, we've always sold them out within, about 30, 35 minutes. So that goes right off at the very, very beginning. But the photo booths are really popular. The dunk tank is really popular. And there's lots and lots of rides for the little kids and lots of games for them to play, too. And there's lots of prizes that we're going to be giving away tomorrow.
I know that the Jets Goals for Kids Foundation won't be continuing on, but it has left a legacy here in Manitoba.
Yes, actually, we're planning on setting up an endowment fund that should have close to $1 million in it, and the interest on that money, every year will be put back into the community in Manitoba.
All right, thank you very much. I know you have a busy day ahead, and you sure you can't get Keith Kachuk into the dunk tank tomorrow?
No, we haven't asked him. We don't have room for him.
Okay, the Jets Wives Carnival, that'll be tomorrow at the Convention Center between 12:30 and 4:30. It is always one of the big events in Manitoba, and you don't want to miss it. Coming up next on our Molson Jets hockey telecast, we'll have a CK&D Newsline update with Barry Birds, as well as Dirt Devil trivia. Blackhawks and Jets are scoreless.
Contribution. Gotta make a contribution. What about now? Gotta live now, too. Managed, self-directed, domestic, international, GIC, mutual fund, or bonds. Choices. I like choices. Answers. I need answers. Got a plan for the future without giving up my plans for today.
TD. We're here to help make it easier.
Maestro Bramwell Tovey presents the riches of British musical tradition. The WSO offers 2 more British imports of sterling quality in the Jaguar Symphony Sweepstakes. Choose from 3 fabulous grand prizes: Music in Motion, the new Jaguar XJS convertible, the new Jaguar XJ6 sedan, or $60,000 cash. 325 prizes with a total value at over $124,000. The first early bird draw is February 24th. Enter the Jaguar Symphony Sweepstakes.
If you were to ask what's new on the horizon for wheat growers, we'd have one word: A word that delivers better and more consistent control of wild oats and wild millet. A word that offers you the widest range of tank mixes. A word that gives you a special wild oat rate to save you money. That word is Horizon.
Try the Olive Garden's spicy new shrimp fra diavolo. Sautéed shrimp, a spicy sauce of hot red peppers, onions, and garlic, all brought together in a fiery crescendo of Italian flavors. With free salad and breadsticks, just $10.95 at the Olive Garden, Canada.
This CKND Newsline update is brought to you by AM 1290 Talk Radio. Talk with an attitude.
Here are some of the stories making news tonight. Winnipeg is more than just a transportation hub, it's a money laundering hub as well. We'll have a report at 10:30. As Police Chief Dale Henry winds up his final day on the job, his final crime stats report shows a decline in overall crime here. Why did the babies die in the cardiology unit at Health Sciences Center? An inquest has been ordered. Engineers are called in to the Winnipeg Mint to find out if there really is a problem with the tuning. Local monarchists are bubbling with anticipation tonight as they learn of Prince Charles' planned visit here in April. And we'll check in with Stan to find out when all this snow and slush is going to dry up. All the day's stories coming up on Newsline at 10:30, and in a moment, more Molson Jets hockey on CKND Winnipeg TV.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. For it's hard, you will find, to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. Now here is the best part. You've got a head start if you are among the very young at heart.
One of life's great rewards is doing the right things right. It's not traveling down the road of compromise. It's an unhurried journey towards fulfillment. And in the places you travel and the people you touch along the way, you've discovered one thing. It's the journey that counts, not the arrival.
Dirt Devil presents Red Hot Trivia. Brought to you by Dirt Devil, makers of the MVP vacuum. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil. Besides Gretzky and Lemieux, who were the only two players to score 10 shorthanded goals in a season? We'll have the answer right after this.
Put the power of an upright in the palm of your hand with a Dirt Devil hand vac. It's lightweight, powerful, and has a revolving brush to deep clean any surface. Put it to work for you, and you'll see why nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
We're proud to announce that this model not only passed that famous ball bearing test, it surpassed it. It's the Dirt Devil MVP with maximum vacuum power. Just think what it can do in your home.
Besides Gretzky and Lemieux, who are the only two players to score 10 shorthanded goals in a season? Need a hint? Neither player is still playing in the NHL. The first player to score 10 shorthanded goals in a season is third on the all-time list with 731 goals and 1,771 points. Marcel Dion is one of the best all-around players in NHL history. And in 1974-75 with Detroit, he scored 10 goals, killing penalties for the Red Wings. The only other player besides Gretzky and Lemieux to accomplish the feat retired at the end of the 1994-95 season and is now an assistant coach in the NHL. But in 1988-89, Dirk Graham found a scoring touch while killing penalties.
It was a very fun year for me. Our penalty killing unit was very aggressive, and I killed a lot of penalties with a guy by the name of Steve Larmer, and he made a lot of great plays along the boards, getting the puck out to me. And again, our unit was very aggressive, and we went after it. And, you know, first and foremost, your job out there as a penalty killer is to kill the penalty, but you know, if you can get a shorthanded goal every now and then, it really sparks the team.
Marcel Dion and Dirk Graham joined an exclusive group with 10 shorthanded goals in a season. Another Red Hot Trivia. Brought to you by Dirt Devil, makers of the MVP vacuum. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
Promotional consideration provided by Optex Binoculars. Superior quality, deluxe features, excellent value, all backed by an industry-leading no-fault warranty. See your retailer today.
It is a busy night in the NHL. Let's get you caught up to date, courtesy of MTS. And let's start in Pittsburgh, where we have two 50-goal scorers. Mario Lemieux with 2 goals, Jaromir Jagr with 2 goals. They both have 50 on the season. Lemieux's goals, 50 in 50 games. Buffalo hammering Philadelphia 7-2. Pat LaFontaine with a power play and a shorthanded goal. He now has 27 on the season. No change in this one. Tampa Bay and the Islanders still tied as they're playing late in the third. New Jersey at home defeating the Montreal Canadiens 6-5. The Devils hanging on to that 8th and final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. John McClain with 4 assists. Peter Forsberg has 2 assists as Colorado doing the Jets a favor. They lead the Kings 2-1. They're playing in the second. No score between Anaheim and Calgary. The Mighty Ducks 3 points back of the Jets and the Kings. Boston, with Ray Bourque having 2 assists in that one, lead Edmonton 2-1. Bill Ranford's return to Edmonton and just getting underway. San Jose and Vancouver are scoreless. Updating on that Canada West semifinal, Game 1 of this best-of-3, the Regina Cougars leading the Manitoba Bisons 4-2. And our score, well, there isn't any score between the Blackhawks and the Jets. You are up to date on the NHL, courtesy of MTS. Well, with more on our game tonight, let's go back upstairs to Kurt and Ted.
Well, Ted, we mentioned before that the first 2 times the Chicago Blackhawks came to Winnipeg, they went into overtime. We'll get that possibility again here tonight.
Well, definitely you do. It's a 0-0 game right now. Both goaltenders are playing well, but it's the hard checking that's impressive tonight. Winnipeg Jets do not usually play 60 minutes of hard checking, but tonight they're playing the same style as Chicago. They're helping each other out, they're helping each other's defensemen, and they're playing a good physical game against Chicago. So they should go in this third period with some confidence.
And a lot of the hard-working guys are hard-working guys.
Well, Terry Simpson has said we're not a team of stars. So then play your other guys. Play your other guys like Eastwood and McKenzie. They're playing very well tonight.
So stand by for the face-off that will commence the third period in just a moment here on CKND, Winnipeg TV.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Sonny and Cher.
Just put your little arm in mine, 'cause there ain't no lower price that you can find, babe.
Like this contemporary 5-piece bedroom suite, only $8.99.
I got you, babe.
Plus, right now, you don't pay for 1 year.
They say our love won't pay the rent, but at Leon, you don't pay a cent. Hey.
Leon's, Canada's only furniture superstores.
It's National Lobster Month, now at Red Lobster. Crack it open, take a bite. Lobster lovers, tonight's your night. Maritime lobster, scampi tails too. It's Lobster Month, just 1 month to enjoy 7 great lobster dinners and tasty lobster appetizers, all at special prices.
Special time, special taste. If you're looking for lobster, this is the place.
Hurry to National Lobster Month, now at Red Lobster Canada.
Molson Jets Hockey on CKND is brought to you in part by Primer Express, Park Pontiac Buick GMC, and by Athletes Wear.
So no score going into the third period. Both clubs will be at full strength to get the third underway. Shots on goal in the first period favored the Jets 12-8, and they were turned around in the second period as the Hawks outshot the Jets 12-8, 20-20 through 2.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
This is the second of a 4-game homestand for the Jets. The Los Angeles Kings will be here on Monday night, and then on Wednesday, it will be the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jamnov and Sutter prepare to get this period underway. It goes back to Chelios at his own line. Looks ahead to center. Went by Probert all the way down. Manson back for Winnipeg and behind his goal. Manson flips it to the other corner. After it there is Murphy. Murphy puts it in Dave Probert. Trying to dig it out. Centers for Sutter. Sutter knocked it into the corner. Probert to Murphy. To Probert. To Chelios. Had it knocked away by Korolev, but now Sutter gets it. Sutter tried it in Dave. And to be kicked away by Hababulin. Here's Probert. Behind. Murphy trying to work with it. Murphy puts it through the crease. Here's Carney, a shot. Kicked away by Hababulin. Carney has Tverdovsky leaning in on him. Jamnov will try to get it out. Does to center ice. Then spots Stone. Trying to beat Nichols. Stone takes it behind. Trying to outmuscle Nichols. Puck goes to the corner. Chelios. Stopped by Korolev and now Murphy. Flips it high. And Newman has to go back to get it. Newman into Olchek. Flip to center ice. Olchek comes up with it again. Gains the line with Drake the trailer. Then throws it in front. Tkachuk couldn't reach. Tkachuk back for Newman. Puts it in deep. Nichols. Center ice. Amade working against Finley. Amade trying to gets the shot away. And Hababulin to save. Then Tkachuk pass picked off by Nichols. And here comes Newman. Straight up the middle. He's got Drake to his right. Newman tried to drop it to Tkachuk. Roenick takes it. Amade has Finley on him. It goes to Roenick. Working. Dropped it off. Here's Weinrich. Suter. Shot. And a save by Hababulin.
Chicago 90 has fast forwards. Their defensemen are so key to this hockey club. They jump up to the play so quickly. Watch the quickness of Tony Monte. Left-hand shot coming down the right side. Comes back to the middle and gets a good shot away. Watch this. Left-hand shot back to the middle. And what happens, Finley goes for a little bit of a skate there. Here's a good shot, but Happy Boone stays on his feet the whole time. He's right in the middle of the net, and Amonte's really got no place to shoot. Happy Boone back on his feet again. Happy Boone really focuses on the puck very well. Even after there's a deke made, he's still in a good position.
Chicago credited with 4 shots in the first 2 minutes of this third period. Here's McIver behind his goal. Now Kilger gets to center ice. Dumps it into the Chicago zone. Big Igor Ulanov can't clear. Stapleton dumped it in deep. Savard in front of his goal. Smith works his way to center ice. Dumps it in. Hababulin leaves it from Muni to King. Daze checked him. It goes in behind the net. Craven trying to free. Puts it in front. It was poked over top by Daze. Here's Muni. Behind the net, McIver. McIver spins. Craven stays with him. Now Muni reverses it to Stapleton. He moves to center. Gets up to the line. Fakes it. Then lets it go. Kilger down deep. And it's taken up by Ulanov. To center. Ulanov gains the jet line. Looks for help. Centers it. And Stapleton turns it back. Gives to Shannon. He dumps it in. Smith back for the Hawks. Ahead to Shans. His pass to Poulin. Gets to the jet line. Stopped by Newman. Cummins. Stopped by Finley. Wrapped it around. Here's Shannon. Looking for Eastwood. Gets it to him. Eastwood gains. Goes in. Looks in front. And now Poulin. Back to Carney. Carney to center. Carney to the jet line. Gives it to Cummins. He shot. Rebound taken by Manson. To McKenzie. Flipped ahead. Chelios for the Hawks. Brings it back. Long shot. Kicked away. Sutter. Joan leans into him. Muni. Around for Korolev. Flipped out. Jamnov gives chase. Jamnov will beat Carney to it. Jamnov behind the net. Here's Jamnov's shot. In front. They bang away. Both Doan and Korolev were there. Good hustle by Shamrock. Puck in behind. Korolev to Doan. Doan takes it behind. Gives to Korolev. Spins. Korolev fighting off a check. Can't get his stick. Knocked down. Robert can't take it out from beneath. Korolev wins the battle. Gives it to Shamrock. His shot. And the save. Good work by Igor Korolev in the corner.
What are you doing there?
In today's world of beers, Molson Special Dries in a world all its own.
Retirement's good.
Dad's beating me bad.
Planning my RSP made life easy.
And he makes it look so easy.
Sure glad I had expert advice.
Dad, I need your advice.
Laurentian Bank, son.
Huh?
For 150 years, you've put your trust in us to help you reach your financial goals. And for that, we'd like to say thank you.
There we see the picture of Igor Korolev. Kurt just had an excellent shifter. Watch the hard work in the corner. Korolev playing with his feet, the old soccer trick. It's knocked down by Probert. Probert's going to whack away at a whack away. Korolev looks for his forward. See him put his head up there? Now he sees there's somebody waiting for him. That's just hard work, and the Jets have been doing that very well tonight.
Here's Suter, takes it behind his goal. Now flips it out to center ice and beyond, and back for it goes Finley. Over to his defense mate Newman. Ahead for Tkachuk, no score in the third period. Nearing the 5-minute mark as Drake gains the line. Amade spins him around. Suter behind his goal. Tkachuk moves in against Suter. Drake trying to dig it out. Tkachuk does. Tkachuk back to the blue line for Finley. Had to knock it away from Amade. Suter puts it to center. Finley drives it back in. Hackett leaves it there for Roenick. Suter to Nichols with Amade. Nichols takes his time. Feathers it in. Tkachuk pumps it out. Weinrich lost it to Drake. Amade to Weinrich. To Amade. Amade gains the line, moves across, 4 Jets around him, and dumps it in. Roenick in the corner. The puck caught up in the skate of the referee. And now with it is Teradovsky for Stapleton. Dumps it into the Chicago corner. Ulanov. Around for Craven. Taken up by Teradovsky. And all the way down to picking up is Manson. The captain, Chris King. Looks across for Stapleton. He gives chase Dave with Kilger trailing. Stapleton centers, and Craven takes it away. Here's Denny Savard. Gets to the jet line. Is checked by McIver. Smith to Ulanov. Ulanov looks, feeds it back to Smith. The head for Savard. Back to Smith. Back to Savard. In front, Craven shot. Now with a Daze. Checked by Stapleton. And he dumps it the distance. That'll be icing, assuming Ulanov gets there before King. And he did.
Chicago Blackhawks, a very patient hockey club. Denny Savard gets the pass from Smith, but no, Smith is following up right behind him. And they play 2-on-2, 2-on-2. There's a good shot back to the Chicago forward, but both those hockey players knew they were coming together. Denny Savard coming to the end of his career, but he's still got some good offensive skills, and he's also got a head in his shoulder. He knew Smith was going to follow up in the play. He dropped it back to him and very quickly turned so Smith could give him a pass back if he needed to.
Well, you know, I was counting the ushers and the media when I said there was over 14,000 people here. The paid attendance actually is 13,741. Face-off will come to the right of Havelbolen. Savard against Shamnov. Here's McIver, takes it behind his goal. Watched there by Craven. Now McIver to Drake. Drake to center ice. Swings by Daze. Gains the line. Moves in deep. Lets the shot go. And Hackett. A lot of the shots in this game have been coming from the angles, and I think that's a credit in large part to the defense.
Well, both teams right now playing very well defensively. The goaltenders are seeing the shots. We got 28 shots for the Hawks against 23 for the Jets, but it's still 0-0, so the goaltender's the last guy back there. Both Happy Bowen and Hackett are still the key guys. When it gets down to that last 10 minutes, the goaltenders know they're the last guy back there, and the pressure starts to become on them. Winnipeg Jets really came out of their end very nicely right there. They had a set play to come out to Dallas Drake coming down the left side and did a very nice tic-tac-toe out of their end very nicely, come down to the end and get a good shot.
Well, goal scoring has been a problem for the Jets over the last 4 games. They were shut out back-to-back, Pittsburgh and St. Louis, then scored those goals against Vancouver, but are scoreless, as are the Hawks. 7 minutes into the third. Here's Probert against McIver. McIver knocked it away. Murphy leaned into. Now Probert and McIver battle for it. Here's Murphy trying to cut at the net. Probert and McIver goes to Sutter. Shot from the angle goes wide. Eastwood gets it to Shannon. Is out with Stapleton. It's dumped in. Shannon goes after it. Chelios has it. Now working out his Carney to Murphy. Dumped into the Jet zone. Back forward is Finley. Finley moves to center ice. Puts it over top of the Hawk goal. Drake goes back for it and puts it outside. Newman in with it now. Drives it into the Hawk zone. Amante tied up by Drake. Pocket center ice. With it is Finley. Finley drives it back in. Suter and Kachuk. It goes down to Drake. Drake knocked down by Suter. Drake's on top of it. Nichols gets it to the blue line. Amante trying to drag it. Can't. Here's Kachuk. Flipped it in. Hackett into the corner. Suter. Now Tverdovsky gives it to Newman. Pump back into the Hawk zone. Kachuk. Moves in, Tverdovsky does. Here's check shot, big rebound. Kachuk shot, saved by Hackett. Puck in behind the goal. Now the Hawks starting away. Roenick kicks it to center, picks it up himself, swings outside, gains the line, trying to beat Tverdovsky with a spinorama. And Tverdovsky comes up with it, then puts it in front of his own goal. Now gets it back again. Gives it to Doan. He flips to center, and Carney to Weinrich. Dumped in. Daze moves in after it. And now Newman leaves it for King. Sent to center. Here's Denny Savard over the line. Lets it go. Haberbolen way out the challenge. There was no room. Here's Savard. He puts it in for big save. A Craven by Nikolai Haberbolen. The Jets a 3-on-2. Doon to Kilger. To Doan with King. Doan in front. And King couldn't quite reach it. Daze and King in the corner. Kilger is there. Chelios trying to get out. King puts it over. McIver's drive. And Hackett the save. Great action at the Winnipeg Arena.
Hi there. I'd like to talk to you today about Earl's great beef dishes. That's right, Earl's beef. You see, Earl chooses only grain-fed beef. He then broils the beef to perfection, serving it in a variety of tasty ways. And incidentally, rumor has it Earl is working on a recipe for screaming hot, woohoo, beef wings. Let's all wish him luck. So for real great beef, it's Earl's. Forget the chicken. Take my word for it, baby. Thank you.
Before you color your hair, stop and think. What if you could help protect your hair as you color? Now you can with Old Mode Cream from L'Oreal. Because Odd Mode is a cream, it doesn't drip, and it even helps protect. And Odd Mode really covers gray. What I love is the color. Rich and long-lasting. That's Odd Mode cream. Does your hair color do all that?
Odd Mode, the protective cream colorant from L'Oreal.
It's a cream. Think about it.
There we see that split screen of the two goaltenders. Kurt, 30 shots for Happyville and 26 for Hackett, you know. And there's a lot of hard work in the corners, and all of a sudden, one of the teams breaks out, and they're getting some excellent shots when they do get them away. But both goalies are playing very well tonight, and that's why we got a 0-0 game.
Face-off will be in the Hawk zone to the left of Jeff Hackett. Hackett tied a Chicago club record earlier this year when he won 8 straight games, a record that had been set by Tony Esposito. Now with it is Smith behind his goal. Puts it off the boards. Probert is checked. Here's Tkachuk to Shen. No shot. McIver knocked it in. And it's knocked away. Here's Murphy, but play is called. The pass was gloved ahead. Joe Murphy has picked his spots, but on 2 or 3 occasions tonight, he has really been flying, but that time to no avail, a glove pass.
Boy, there's some quickness on this ice tonight. Guys check very closely, very closely. All of a sudden, with the speed of some of these players right now, they just blitz out of their end. See Murphy with that blood still coming out of the right corner of his eye there after he caught that errant stick from Zamna. The players, Winnipeg Jets have to enjoy this type of game. Even though it's hard work, you feel like you've accomplished something when you come off after your shift.
We're not seeing any more of McKenzie as Drake has replaced McKenzie on that line with Eastwood and Shannon, a line that has looked pretty good for the Jets in the whole hockey game. Now the puck is dumped all the way down. McIver goes back for it. Takes it to the corner. Center. Shannon gives to Eastwood. Eastwood's pass just too far for Drake. Puck goes back with it now is Ulanov. Tried it for Murphy. It went by him all the way down. It will not be icing. Back is Finley to Shannon. Darren Shannon to center, dumps it in. Eastwood flies in after it. Hackett is out of the goal. Eastwood wasn't stopping. Shannon to Finley. The pass went by him. He appeared to be looking at the goal before he got the puck. Here's Newman in behind the net. Straight up the middle. Tkachuk trying to break away. Here's Tkachuk's pass. Stapleton shot. And it's high and out of play.
There we can see that quickness again, Kurt. The guys have got their legs going tonight. You know, they're playing very tough physically, and all of a sudden, watch Temple. He sees the play right up the middle. Tkachuk gets it going. Reinrich makes a good play to come back on him. Tkachuk gets it over to Stapleton, and his deflected shot goes over the glass. But an excellent pass by Temple. Temple can read the puck very well. Saw the man up the middle. Good play. Stapleton gets a chance. Just a little deflection. He puts it out of play.
Stapleton out with Tkachuk and Shamnov as the Jets will try to go with Tkachuk and Shamnov as much as they can in this final 9 minutes, because it looks as though it's only going to take one to win this one. Although keep in mind the last 2 games between these clubs, it was 1-1 going into the last minute the first time, and it wound up 2-2. And then, of course, the overtime win by the Jets, 6-5 in a wild finish. Here's Shamnov at center. Gets it back to Newman. To Tkachuk. Amante. Now Tkachuk gets over the line. He lets it go. He hammered it. Shin. Goal! Checking on this one. The referee is on the move.
Well, you see Tkachuk gets a great shot away, goes off the glass. Hackett comes back, and we'll see. It goes off Zamnov's foot. Now, did he direct it in is going to be the question.
Well,
here we go. The puck bouncing out. Goes off his foot. Is it a direction?
I don't think so, and that is something that they are going to be a little looser on. They have declared now that if it's an absolute kicking motion, it's no goal. That wasn't an absolute kicking motion. Well, there goes that theory. They say it's not a goal. Now, I don't know. They just had those governors' meetings, and that's exactly what they were talking about.
Now, is he calling it no goal because he's in the crease there, Kurt? No, he's outside the crease when it hits his foot.
Now, the ruling was no goal. It was kicked in, and that was not kicked in. Bad call. And it remains scoreless. Puck goes back into the Hawk zone. With it is Chelios. Puts it up the boards. Amate. He kicked it. Back to Carney. Now it goes around to Roenick. Stopped at the line by Newman. Roenick hauls it away. Here's Roenick against Finley, trying to cut in front. Finley knocked it away. Puck goes free. And with it now is Stapleton. Knocked to center. Kachuk trying to get by Chelios. Here he goes. Backhand save by Hackett. Good effort by Kachuk to beat Chelios. Here's Roenick. Puts it to the line. Doan has it. Flips it down. And back to get it is Suter. Tried it for Cummins. It's dumped all the way down. Tverdovsky for Manson. Manson's pass. Back to the Hawk line. Suter. Now Tverdovsky against Shantz. It goes to Manson. To King. Dumped it in. 7:40 left in a frantic third period. No score. Poland is back. Tverdovsky pinches. Gives to King. Shot of Weinrich and wide. King charges in after it. It goes to Poland. The Hawks away 3-on-2. Here's Shantz with Cummins who takes the pass. He's shot. And Habibul and Cooley holds on to it.
Unlike most colds, the flu can put you away. To help you escape the misery of flu's 4 main symptoms, there's new Benylin for Flu. It has the strength to bring down a fever, the strength to relieve aches and pains, ease coughing, unlock chest and nasal congestion, and so aid restful sleep. New Benylin for Flu, dedicated to flu relief.
Winter's here, and it's time to ask yourself, does your battery have the juice to get you started when you really need it? Do your tires have the traction you need for slippery situations? Only Canadian Tire offers MotoMaster batteries and tires to get you going in any situation. All at the everyday low prices you'd expect from Canada's automotive store. Canadian Tire, there's a lot more for your car for a lot less.
Well, Ted Irvin's going to pick the Stars, and it's going to be very easy. The man in the moon can pick the Stars tonight, the 2 goalies, and anybody else, because really there's been about 20 Stars out there. You can't be wrong.
Well, both goaltenders have played very well. Hackett, the players, got bumped a little bit there in the last play by Kachuk. You see him over the bench getting some more water. Here's where we can see the strength of Kachuk. He comes in there, he just doesn't have his balance right now. Hackett goes down, makes the save. He was following Kachuk along. It just looks like he might have pulled his leg a little bit. He just didn't. Kachuk making all those moves. Hackett kept on going to the left, going to the left, going to the left, and he might have popped the muscle a little bit. But both goaltenders playing very well. But there's the strength of Kachuk. Here we see the shot by King. Good shot. Now we start to see the movement. He falls down. Looks like he caught his left skate in the ice there. Goaltenders are very particular about cleaning that ice in front of them, make sure there's no cracks in there so they can slide back and forth. And it looked like he did catch his skate blade just a little bit to make him fall over to the left.
Savard is out with Craven and Daze. Eastwood with Shannon and Drake. .7:17 left in the third with no score. Shannon and Daze battle for it. Daze pokes it in behind the net. Savard centers it. Shannon takes it behind. Gets away from Craven. Looks it ahead for Drake. Drake is checked. Puck goes back into the corner. Craven will go for it there. Hit by Eastwood. Manson to Shannon. He flipped it out to center. Weinrich to Suter. Eastwood takes him out of the play. Now following up, here's Savard. Gets to the jet line, retreats, tries it again, puts it in. Manson with it. To Tverdovsky. To Eastwood. Drake. Manson. Manson fakes it, goes around. Weinrich moves in offside. Plenty of action in the NHL tonight. Pittsburgh, big nights by Yaromir and Mario, 5-4 over Hartford. The Buffalo Sabres, what has happened? They couldn't score at all before, and now they're scoring by the bushel, 7-2 over the Flyers. Tampa Bay, hot. They've been hot for a while. 3-2 over the Islanders in overtime. New Jersey, they don't usually score that many goals. Tonight they needed to. 6-5 over Montreal. And Colorado leading Los Angeles 4-1. The Kings having all kinds of problems. They'll be here on Monday. Calgary leading Anaheim 1-0. And Boston 3-1 over Edmonton in the second period. Out west, Vancouver leading the Sharks 1-0. The playoff races heat up, particularly among the clubs around the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th positions. Here's Sutter. Dumps it in. Going back forward is McIver behind his goal. Murphy gives chase. Now it's taken by Stapleton. To Korolev. To center. Dumped it in. Sutter back. Behind his goal. Muni. Had it knocked away. It goes all the way down. McIver goes back for it. To Muni. To Korolev. Jamnov hustling after it. Chelio's got there first. Probert. Then Korolev. Got his glove up. Now Sutter. To Murphy. Korolev goes after him. Now Probert works against Newman and gets a shot away. Hababula knocked it out. Nichols and Finley along the boards. Finley kicks it ahead. Smith out front row and it couldn't handle it. Smith over to Weinrich. Just over 5 minutes left. No score. Third period. Amante. Roenick. Hit across the line. Roenick deep. Balls. Nichols right at the net. Poke. Check by Hababula. Now Drake with it. Drake got his stick up on Weinrich. Here's Nichols. Dumps it in. Amante deep. Finley with him. Now Roenick. Roenick trying to work in front. Put it through the crease. And he and Hababula were caged.
You ready?
Yes.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Sometimes the expected can be refreshing. Mad About You. Sunday at 7 on CKND, Winnipeg TV.
I love you like I do.
Try the Olive Garden spicy new shrimp fra diavolo. Sauteed shrimp, a spicy sauce of hot red peppers, onions, and garlic, all brought together in a fiery crescendo of Italian flavors. With free salad and breadsticks, just $10.95 at the Olive Garden, Canada.
Back again on the used car floor at Jim Gauthier with in excess of 50 vehicles indoors 12 months a year. And each of them has been Manitoba Safety Certified for your peace of mind. As well, we have a huge selection of GM program cars, which are cars that are, well, they're basically next to new and still carry the balance of the factory warranty. Jim Gauthier on McPhillips, north of Inkster.
It's always in big time GM Gauthier.
On McPhillips, north of Inkster.
Lots of opportunities, lots of chances, some hits. Good action. This thing looks like it could end at any time on a big goal. Or it could go forever.
Well, I don't think Chicago wants overtime. Watch Happy Bullen there. Watch how, is this the one on Nichols there? He comes out in front of the net. Oh, just bounces off the stick. And Happy Bullen was right there. Even Nichols would have gone to his left there. Happy Bullen poke checks him. Good hockey game.
Nichols out with Roenick and Amate. Jamnov out with Tkachuk and Korolev. Here's Tkachuk. Jamnov dumps it in. Korolev back for it. Puts it behind the goal. Weinrich. It bounces at the side of the net. Now with it is Tkachuk. Tkachuk to Korolev. Korolev looks in front, takes it back, holds it in. Well, apparently he didn't hold it in. It was offside. He looked in front once. There was nobody there yet. Had to hang on and take it outside.
Well, Korolev got off a good start this year. He's good with the puck. You'll see he hangs on. He's looking for play, but it does slip out over the blue line. But he was looking from behind the net for either Chuck or Zamnov. Here is, he's waiting. He knows somebody's there. Now watch, he sees the Jet player right behind the net. Unfortunately, it's offside.
He's one and Nichols. Now it goes to Numminen. He gains the line, takes it deep down to the corner, trying to flip it in front. It's in behind. Stapleton trying to center. One of them behind the net. Stapleton takes it to the corner. Knocked away from him. Here's Shannon. Shannon frees himself, partially anyway, of Chelios. Now they battle along the board. 6 of them. Eastwood trying to dig it out. Numminen has to go back to center with it. Puts it back into the Chicago zone. Eastwood leads the charge again. Chelios gives it to Carney, who takes it away to center ice. Dropped it to Roenick. Roenick's pass. Here's Sabur. Shot. Knocked away by Habibulin. Davidovsky sent it to the blue line. Taze let it go. And it's a souvenir off Habibulin.
Happy Bullen, 34 shots now, Kurt. I mean, they're firing from all over them. Chicago doesn't want to go to overtime. They lost last night. They'll be a little bit tired. That's a lot of hockey we played in 2 days. But this Daze, everything he gets goes toward the net. He's got an accurate shot. Every shot on net is potential goal, and he just keeps on shooting.
Daze, through the first 2 periods, had 7 of the 20 Chicago shots.
We see the overtime records. Chicago Blackhawks, 1 win, 3 losses, 11 ties. Very defensive minded, and their 1 loss, Winnipeg Jets. It's a patient hockey club. 15 games have gone into overtime.
Here's Davidovsky, gives it to Drake. He dumps it in. Tkachuk charges in after it. Weinrich sends it ahead. Craven flips it to the blue line. Davidovsky, good job to hold it in. To Tkachuk. He shot in front. Now it's in behind the net. Olchek falls. Drake trying to dig it out. And it's taken by Savard. He puts it ahead to Craven. Gets to the line. Manson takes it away. To Drake. Drake looking across for Tkachuk. Dropped it instead to Manson. Gets to the line. Let's say hard shot goal. Hackett covers up as Drake is cruising near.
Well, again, a defenseman can really help your hockey club. In that case there, Dave Manson. Winnipeg Jets weren't able to get out of their end, but he jumped up in the play very quickly. You'll see him come down. The hardest shot in the NHL at the contest. No rebound Hackett. He just holds on, gets the whistle, gives his teammates a little bit of rest. But Dave Manson, good job of jumping up into the play. I don't think Dave is sorry at all about Jeff Courtnall the way I read it in the paper. Doesn't seem to be quite concerned about that wrist at all.
No, he told me he cried for 3 days, actually. Just didn't show on the ice. Face off to the right of Jeff Hackett. Now McIver moves in. Doan takes it back to center. Dumps it in. Now Chelios behind his goal. 2:37 left. 3rd period. No score. Muni to Doan. Doan dumped it in. Hackett knocks it away. King bumps with Carney. Gets hit. Gilger's a backhand. Hit the goal post. And then one of the Hawks nearly put it in himself. Cheers. Kilger hit the goal post. Here's Kilger with it again. Tried it for King. Chelios spins with it. Chelios taken off the puck by Doan. Then Doan lost it. Chelios sends it ahead. Finley back for it. Sends it to center. Weinrich puts it over the jet line. Stapleton. A minute 48 left in the third period. No score. Center ice. Weinrich puts it in. Finley bats it out. Weinrich gets it to the jet line. Newman takes it to center. Here's Newman looking for Stapleton. Hit for Jamnov, overskated it. Jamnov made his move before he had it. Here's Kachuk. Cuts in front. Backhand. Hack it down. Oh, the Jets are doing everything but put it home.
Well, Kurt, to try to get out of a slump, boy, it is tough. Winnipeg Jets have had a goal called back. Young Kilgore gets an excellent opportunity. The Jets are working hard, just aren't getting a brace. Young Kilgore comes in, he brings the goaltender, pulls it back, and Hackett did get a little piece of it. And all of a sudden, Sutter shot it back in front, and Hackett made the big save. Here it is, Kachuk steals the puck, being strong in the puck. Now watch him go to the net. This is what he's good at. Goes right to the net, loses the puck. Hackett makes another big save. The puck is lying there. And as I say, to get out of a slump, it takes a lot of hard work. And right now, the Jets just aren't getting the breaks.
Well, those two, and then, of course, Jamnov had a good opportunity and skated right over top of it, so...
Well, as Terry Simpson said to us, and John Packett said, boy, if we win, you'll see different faces on the bench. You saw just a while, a couple of guys talking to each other. Everybody's waiting. Come on, somebody put it in.
A minute and 20 seconds left in the third period. No score. Here's Carney. Taking all kinds of time. Blasted off the boards. It goes to center. Here's Amade against Finley. Amade moves along the line. Dropped it off. Chelios shot. It's in front. And it's taken away by Stapleton. He ran into traffic. Here's Nichols. Doesn't shoot. Waits. Looks. Throws it across. With it now. Carney. His blast. Hababulis. Rebound. They bang away. Newman gives to Kachuk. He starts away with Jamnov. Kachuk trying to split the defense. And with it is Hackett. It goes down to Chelios. 35 seconds left. Here comes the captain of the Hawks. Out to center ice. Across the line. To Amade. Back for Chelios. His centering effort blocked by Taranovsky. And now with it, Darren Shannon. Dump to center. Chelios is already back there. Gives it to Suter. Suter's pass goes all the way down. 13 seconds left. Manson and Savard in the corner. Manson kicks it. It goes to Drake. Drake puts it around. Shannon, 4 seconds. Long shot. That's wide. Eastwood charges in after it, as he's been doing all night. And we have overtime.
Both goaltenders, 36 shots for the Hawks, 31 for the Jets. Both goaltenders, stars of tonight's game. Both came up with big saves at the right time.
So the score, no score after 3 periods. We'll be back with the overtime in just a moment.
It's the new Red Green Show! If you love the great outdoors, if you love the beautiful wilderness, then watch it on TV with your host, my Uncle Red Green!
Sunday at 8:30 on CKND Winnipeg TV.
Juan, Puerto Rico.
Well, we get the chance to see young Kilgore. Look at the move he makes. He goes, he comes across, he throws it back from where he came from, but Hackett did make the save. Hit the post, and then Brent Sutter threw it out front. Hackett had to make another save. Now, here's the goals we'll be talking about tomorrow. See, it comes off the glass here. Zamdov does the right thing, hits it with his stick, goes off his skate. They're saying he directed it. It didn't look like he did, but the Winnipeg Jets just not getting the break.
So for the third time in as many visits this season, the Hawks and Jets require additional time. The Jets won the first one on Shane Doan's goal in overtime that night when Doan had scored with under 3 minutes to go to close the Jets to within one. The Jets pulled their goaltender. Solani scored to tie it, and Doan won it. And in the last time, of course, when Roenick tied it with 30 seconds left, and it wound up 2-2. Savard, Daze, Craven up front for Chicago. Eastwood, Shannon, and Drake for Winnipeg. Shots on goal through 3 periods. 36 by the Hawks, 31 by the Jets, meaning it was 16-11 Hawks in shots in that last period. But in the 9 minutes of the period, all the pressure was exerted by the home team. Savard puts it back. It's put up to the Jet line. Manson has his man tied up. Shannon for Eastwood. Eastwood pass. Here's Drake. Hit over the line. He goes!
The celebration by the Winnipeg Jets. They deserve the break tonight, Kurt. And watch it happen. Chelios gets caught sneaking in. We'll see Drake comes by. Hackett gets out, gives him way too much room on the left side. Just a wonderful shot to the top side of the net. Winnipeg Jets jump on the bench, off the bench with some emotion, and Terry Simpson gets the game that he wants out of his forwards, out of his defense, and great goaltending by Javi Bull. The Jets deserve a break tonight, and Dallas Drake has finally got himself another goal.
So they couldn't score through 60 minutes, but it took only 17 seconds in overtime, and Dallas Drake wins it 1-0. Stand by for the Molson Cup 3 stars.
I love my car.
At McDonald Auto Body, we know what it's like to love your car. We've been in love with cars for over 50 years, and we're proud that our customers recommend McDonald Auto Body because they love the work we do and our written guarantee. So when your car needs body work, show how much you care.
I love my car.
We've been in love with cars for over 50 years.
It may happen today, it may happen tomorrow. And if it does, you'll be glad you have a CAA Manitoba membership.
If it wasn't for you, I'd be here forever.
When problems happen, we'll be there to help, providing the finest emergency road service. Tomorrow, hundreds of Manitobans will be reminded why they have a CAA membership.
It really saves me every winter, every winter.
For everywhere you go today, go with CAA.
Back again on the used car floor at Jim Gauthier with in excess of 50 vehicles indoors 12 months a year, and each of them has been Manitoba safety certified for your peace of mind. As well, we have a huge selection of GM program cars, which are cars that are, well, they're basically next to new and still carry the balance of the factory warranty. Jim Gauthier on McPhillips, north of Inkster.
It's always empty time GM Gauthier.
On McPhillips, north of Inkster.
Cup 3 stars from tonight's game. The third star with the game winner, Dallas Drake. The second star from tonight's game, Chicago goaltender Jeff Hackett, who made 31 saves. And the first star with 36 saves for his second shutout of the season, Nikolai Habibi. Bulin. There you see the overall Molson Cup standings. Keith Tkachuk leading, Nikolai Abibulin with 50 points. And our final score, the Jets over the Chicago Blackhawks by a score of 1-0. We'll be back with a lot more in our Molson Jets hockey telecast. The Jets end their losing streak.
Over 60,000 businesses across Canada have Advantage 800 numbers. They generated sales of over $1 billion last year. Now just imagine if that system ever went down. Thankfully,
Gilbert Steel, Sales Division.
it won't. Advantage 800. Everything in business should be this reliable.
Intercepted by Chris King against Carpenter. Score! Chris King rips one as Ranger. Second shot, they score! Trevor Linden. Back, boom shot, yep. Here's a chance for Nato.
Hi, I'm Gerald Wilcox. As you may know, I play a little football here in Manitoba. I've realized to be the best at what you do, to be a true professional and winner, requires a lot of hard work and dedication. And a real competitive attitude sure doesn't hurt. You know who's got it, don't you?
You got it, Park Pontiac.
The difference is, you got it, the people at Park Pontiac.
Hi there. I'd like to talk to you today about Earl's great beef dishes. That's right, Earl's beef. You see, Earl chooses only grain-fed beef. He then chop-broils the beef to perfection, serving it in a variety of tasty ways. And incidentally, rumor has it Earl is working on a recipe for screaming hot, woohoo, beef wings. Let's all wish him luck. So for real great beef, it's Earl's. Forget the chicken. Take my word for it, baby. Thank you.
Time now for tonight's Jim Gauthier Big Easy play of the game, and this was not a hard selection tonight. Let's go to overtime. Eastwood ahead to Dallas Drake, and he's got the top corner all picked out. The big shot. And Dallas Drake with the game winner. One more look at it. Into the top shelf all the way. The Big Easy Play of the Game is brought to you by the home of the big buy, Jim Gauthier, Chevrolet's Geo Cadillac. And joining me now is one of the heroes of tonight's game, Dallas Drake. Dallas, you were going for the top corner all the way, weren't you?
Actually, I was shooting in that direction. I got to say I was anyways. Yeah, it felt good. I just put my head down and tried to put the puck on net, and it went in for me.
It felt like a Stanley Cup victory out there, the way the fans reacted, and especially the way the team reacted.
Yeah, we played a solid game tonight, I think, and we battled all night, and you know, it was important for us to get this win. I think we've been struggling lately, and everybody knows that, and you know, it's just important that we came out and we played as hard as we could, and for once we were rewarded, I think.
And it was important, I think you got contributions from everybody tonight. This was a total team victory, as have the losses been. You win as a team and you lose as a team.
Yeah, we've been trying to focus on that a lot in the dressing room, was that we win as 20 guys and we lose 20 guys, and we rolled them over quite a bit tonight. We had everybody playing, and it got everybody into the game, and I think that's why we played so well.
Now, you were on a couple of different lines tonight. You ended up on the line that eventually scored the goal, but that wasn't the line you started with tonight.
No, I think Terry started to mix it up, trying to get something going, some offense going in the third period, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the important thing was everybody was playing, and no matter what line you're on, everybody was getting a chance to get on the ice, and you know, it worked out well for us.
You like the new number?
It's my first goal with it. I can't complain, but it's not, numbers ain't a big deal to me.
How much of a weight do you feel has been lifted off this team because of this victory tonight?
Well, we can't get too excited about it. It's just one win, obviously, but you know, we fought hard tonight, and we got to build off this, and if we can win our next couple games at home and then go on the road and do well, then I think this team has a lot to build for.
Well, Dallas Drake made the Winnipeg Jets a winner tonight with that goal in overtime. He also made our Safeway score and win winner tonight, Roy Bell of Neepawa, a winner. He won a Macassa 20-piece dinnerware set. Congratulations to Dallas Drake, and congratulations to Roy Bell. Our Molson Jets hockey telecast continues. After this, the Jets over the Blackhawks, 1-0.
We're in northern Kenya being chased by a black rhino. Oh! Whew. The thing to remember when being chased by a black rhino is that while they're great in the straightaways, they can't corner worth beans.
The proceeding has been brought to you by the all-new Nissan Pathfinder, now with increased horsepower, for when you want to get away.
Now is the time to take a good look at your goals for the future. The people at Astra Credit Union are here to help you reach those goals, one step at a time. Drop into Astra today, and we'll discuss your RSP needs and how they fit into your overall financial picture. An Astra Retirement Savings Plan puts your goals within reach.
Credit union and a reason to believe.
So much peanut butter, chocolatey coating, and caramel. Be careful when you eat a Wonder Bar.
Flight 403, now boarding.
I hope he's not on our flight. Oops, gotta go.
Cadbury's Wonder Bar. You'll wonder what hit you.
Let's take the bus.
There's only one way to beat winter in Manitoba. Four-wheel drive from Winnipeg Jeep Eagle. The 96 Jeep Grand Cherokee is Canada's best all-terrain vehicle, combining safety, elegance, and 4x4 toughness. The Jeep Cherokee, still Manitoba's favorite four-wheel drive utility vehicle. And don't forget the Eagle Talon, the all-wheel drive sports car. Sure-footed traction in all conditions, plus the guaranteed lowest prices and lowest lease rates at Winnipeg Jeep Eagle, Western Canada's largest volume Jeep Eagle dealership. 1430 Ellis, just a slap shot from the arena.
Promotional considerations provided by Waltham Watches, a name known for prestige and quality since 1857, elegant styling, and the latest in technology. A name you can trust in modern timepieces.
If you're like me, you know the importance of contributing to your RSP. It's one of the most significant financial decisions any of us can make. And that's why you should consider investing with CI mutual funds. At CI, you can choose from a range of 20 Canadian and international funds. And you have the assurance that your RSP will be managed by some of the most respected money managers in the world. Your financial advisor knows CI mutual funds. All you have to do is ask.
Because your family's safety is riding on us, and nothing is more important.
Boyd Auto Body and Auto Glass.
Play Safeway Score and Win. When the Jets score on CKND, you could win an IBM Aptiva multimedia computer, a GE Spacemaker 2 microwave oven, Dirt Devil's MVP and Dust Devil from Royal Appliance, or $300 in MasterCard traveler's checks from the Bank of Montreal. You could also win a trip or two to Mazatlan, Mexico, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Safeway's participating products, ABC laundry detergent, and Kleenex facial tissues. Score and win at Safeway, today's better way.
Try the Olive Garden's spicy new Shrimp Fra Diavolo. Sauteed shrimp, a spicy sauce of hot red peppers, onions, and garlic, all brought together in a fiery crescendo of Italian flavors. With free salad and breadsticks, just $10.95 at the Olive Garden, Canada.
What's so new about new Speed Stick Clear deodorant? Take a look at this gel. See? It's wet and sticky. And mine goes on dry.
New Speed Stick Clear. It's more than clear. It's clearly dry.
By Menon.
Now in 4 fresh scents.
Tonight, Safeway Score and Win grand prize winner will receive a trip or two to Mazatlan, Mexico, where you and a guest will spend 7 glorious days on the sun-drenched beaches at the Caravel Beach Club, courtesy of Canadian Holidays, Canada's largest vacation company. Tonight's grand prize winner is Lorraine Cormier of Winnipeg. She entered Score and Win by attaching a proof of purchase from Bastel Margarine. Fill out a ballot at your local Safeway. Score and Win at Safeway. Today's better way. It's time now to recap our Safeway Score and Win winner tonight. Well, one goal, hey, was the game-winning goal, and because of that, Roy Bell of Nipawa wins a Macassa 20-piece dinnerware set. And here is the game winner. Another look at it. The big wind-up by Dallas Drake. Top shelf. What a bullet. And joining us now is Jets assistant coach Randy Carlisle. Randy, obviously understated, but that was a big win.
Well, anytime you go into overtime, nothing tie, and the way things are going for our hockey club, it was nice to see us finally get a break, and especially a guy like Dallas Drake has had some hard luck around the net, and we just kept with it, and it was a pretty impressive shot, but it's always nice to steal one like that.
There was a big emotional outburst by your hockey club at the end of that game.
Well, of course, you know, you've been here for the last 4 losses, so, you know, and it doesn't make it any easier when you're in a playoff struggle in which we are, and we haven't had that much success, so anytime you can come into a building, and your own building like this, and play with some emotion, when I think the guys were really committed to winning, and when we finally got the winner in overtime, and that's what the outpouring of emotion flowed over.
Now the important thing is to build on this victory, and you got 2 more games left in this homestand.
Of course, you know, you're only as good as your last shift, and that one's over now. Now we have to start to prepare for Monday against LA, and it's especially important with the team that we're battling with. It's going to be a 4-point hockey game, and anytime you go against Gretzky, you know that he's been a thorn in our side for a number of years.
If Gretzky is there are talks, of course, in Los Angeles. Randy Carlisle, thank you very much. As Randy mentioned, Jets' next game will be Monday against Wayne Gretzky and the LA Kings. Our next telecast will be Wednesday, March 13th, as the Jets travel to Toronto to play the Maple Leafs. Dallas Drake makes the Jets a winner. Good night from Winnipeg. Tonight's telecast of the Jets on CKND Winnipeg TV